It was next day was the last day of the regular season, and they like gave me a start and ended up hitting 2 home runs there. So it was a good experience just being that young and not really know what to expect. Like,
and now he's getting his first at-bat back. The 0-1. Cecchetto hits a high chopper to third, and that one's into the outfield, a base hit. Welcome back, Mike Cecchetto. That's got to feel good. It's never easy playing 4 games in 4 days, but the Maple Leafs come away with 2 wins on the road.
2-1. Here it comes. And it's hit to center field for a base hit.
Yeah, it's very big for us. It's huge. It felt like we finally clicked a little bit, so we're hoping to keep that ball rolling.
Well, welcome back to Leafs Weekly. Not bad to come away with 2 wins on the road when you got 4 games in 4 days. That's what the Toronto Maple Leafs did this week and over the weekend as well. A win against the Barrie Baycats in Barrie and a big win against the Welland Jackfish in Welland as they sweep the season series against the Jackfish in their home ballpark this season. So not bad, and the Maple Leafs continue to be road warriors. They're also very happy to have Jordan Castaldo's bat hot once again in the lineup. And is it ever? 2 home runs against the Guelph Royals and another one against the Welland Jackfish gives him 3 in his last 2 games, which the Maple Leafs are quite happy about. They're also very happy to have this guy back in the lineup. Mike Cecchetto, who was injured earlier on in the season, missed nearly 2 months of the season, and now, finally in July, finds himself back in the lineup after rehabbing his injury, got a hit in his very first at-bat back, which I know he was very happy about, and this is what he's done with the Toronto Maple Leafs, a career .229 hitter, but boy, exploded onto the scene with Toronto last season and has been fantastic ever since. I got a chance to catch up with Mike Cecchetto, who's the special guest today on Leafs Weekly. All right, joined now by Mike Cecchetto from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mike, I know you're really excited to get back on the field, and I know you're very close to getting back with the Maple Leafs. How's the rehab been going, and how much are you looking forward to getting back on the field at Toronto?
Yeah, rehab's been good. It's been a long 8 weeks, but yeah, I'm fired up to get going with the boys again.
So I know you play in a bunch of different teams in the Intercounty Baseball League. Now here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. When I look back at your Intercounty Baseball League career, I mean, your batting average sitting around in the mid 200s throughout every team. And then you come to Toronto, and it's just an offensive explosion. What has it been like playing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and why have you found so much success here in Toronto?
I mean, just playing close to home. I think, like, growing up, watching games at the pits, like, there's no place I'd rather be, and just getting everyday reps again since school, I mean, just helps out in the long run, right?
I know you've talked a lot about, consistent playing time, which you're getting now here with the Toronto Maple Leafs, being close to home. How many of those factors, and maybe even just the playing time thing as well, contribute to being successful in the Intercounty Baseball League for you?
I mean, just like I said, just the reps, like coming to the yard every day, kind of knowing like there's a chance I'm in the lineup, and just preparing myself the best I can to help the team win at the end of the day.
So you and many other players in this league come from the JUCO background, playing college baseball there. Can you tell me a little bit about playing JUCO and what that was like before you played here with the Maple Leafs?
Yeah, the JUCO experience was great. I mean, it was very military style. It was like 6 days a week, and we would just grind out there. It was baseball every day, but I mean, there's no better way to do it in my opinion. I loved every minute of it.
And then you came here to the Intercounty Baseball League shortly after. How did you end up here in the Intercounty Baseball League, and what was that process like transitioning to the league?
So it's actually pretty funny. In 2017, I was actually playing a 2 o'clock game here at the pits, and the Leafs are actually short on players. They're playing a Saturday night, which was rare back then, and ended up getting a call to play for them. Went 1 for 1 with a single and ended up coming out of the game. And it was next day was the last day of the regular season, and they like gave me a start and ended up hitting 2 home runs there. So pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, we'll take it. Like it was a good experience just being that young and not really know what to expect. Like and just getting to play with vet guys, and it was like a different caliber of pitching that I hadn't seen yet. So it was really awesome.
Maybe just the pitching in the Intercounty Baseball League. I mean, you've been in this league for a while now, so you've kind of seen this league transition and get better and better over the last couple of years. At least I think it has. What have you noticed about like the evolution of the Intercounty Baseball League in the last few years?
Yeah, just the pitching it's no easy days. Like, you can get a guy who's got minor league time, even you get the odd guy who's got pro time. It's a grind in the box, especially coming from work all day, and then getting to face someone like that. It's not easy. So I think the league's just going in the right direction, though.
So when you joined the Toronto Maple Leafs last year, you had a great regular season, then you played in the playoffs. And I know you guys wanted to win that series against the BARRIE BAYCATS, playing your former team as well. But just on the personal aspect for you in that series, you hit a couple home runs in that series. I don't know how much power success you've had in the Intercounty Baseball League, but you sure have had it here in Toronto. What was it like just hitting those 2 home runs, maybe just from a confidence perspective in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, it was definitely it was big. Something I haven't done in a while. I haven't really had playoff at bats in this league. So just getting a chance to do that and put 2 good swings on a baseball and giving the team a chance to win is kind of all I strive for, right?
So I know you do some coaching as well. You coach with the Toronto Metropolitan University. What was that like, and what's it like kind of being able to play the game and also coach the game as well and kind of pass on some of that knowledge to other players?
Yeah, it's definitely different at times, remembering that you're not inside the lines, you're actually on the outside. So yeah, just especially with TMU, you get some younger guys who come up, and yeah, just being able to pass anything that I've learned, especially from the vets on our team, like the Maras, the Castaldos, like those guys are just a wealth of knowledge, connect. Like, he's always talking hitting with me, so any little thing I could really pass along, I'll do that, just like those guys would do, right?
Actually, yeah, I was talking to Marcus about coaching as well. He does some of that himself, and he was saying that coaching kind of helps you a little bit in your playing as well, when you get to kind of coach other people, and then maybe you're applying some of that to your own game as well. Do you find that kind of helps you out in your game?
Yeah, for sure. You learn many different things, even being around other coaches that, hey, maybe I wouldn't have looked at the game in this way. And yeah, you just nitpick little things and kind of grab it here and there and then apply it where you can.
Just the stretch that the Toronto Maple Leafs have been on right now, I know you guys kind of want to get back in the win column, maybe try and get the team back above 500. And I was talking to Dennis DeBanning after the other game today, and I made the bold question to him, is there any kind of worry in the locker room about how things are going right now? And he shut it down right away. Would you kind of echo that sentiment, and what is the locker room for the Toronto Maple Leafs like right now?
Yeah, the vibes are high in the locker room. The boys aren't stressing at all. Like I said, this is a vet club. The guys have been here and done it for a long time, even before I was here, right? So I think we're in a good spot. We'll start stringing some wins together, and we'll make a good playoff run for sure.
Mike, you were saying you kind of found a home here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. When you think about, this group, and I know there was kind of a sentiment for the last couple of years that they kind of wanted to win it together. That this group before you came went to the Intercounty Baseball League finals 2 years in a row, and it was kind of a heartbreak that they lost. And you joined the club, and they're trying to find it back to that success. Do you kind of feel like you're kind of part of that family and that vibe that this group wants to win it together?
Yeah, for sure. We've been getting after it all off season. It's been the talk of the off season, is just let's win it and get it done. We got a good family in there and good clubhouse, and it's just all hands on deck. So like I said, I think we're in a really good spot to do something special this year.
All right, Mike, we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
2-1. Here it comes. And it's hit to center field for a base hit. And that puts Toronto on top 2-1 as Luca Boscarino scores.
Here come the words from DeBanning between the Baycats dugout. He's 10 for 30 with runners in scoring position this year.
Speed and a little flare into the glove of the shortstop. Down the line, and it's off the glove of the first baseman. Scrambles, makes the throw to second for the out there. Could the rookie deliver the crucial moment in this game? Hits it to second. And a short, and that'll do it. At 12 midnight exactly, the Toronto Maple Leafs get the final outs of the 10th, and they are victorious tonight in extras by a score of 2-1.
All right, joined now by Adam Marr from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Adam, I know it was a big game for you last night. Let's just start with the team win, though, just to kind of break the losing streak and get the win in Barrie. How big was that for you guys?
Yeah, it's very big for us. It's huge. I guess I thought it was more than 5, but I guess it was a 5-game losing streak we were coming off of. Felt like we couldn't get the ball rolling, although we've been playing signs of life the whole time. You know, it just hasn't been clicking, and yesterday I think was it felt like we finally clicked a little bit, so we're hoping to keep that ball rolling here tonight and for the rest of the season. I think it's only 10 games left, so, but yeah, big for us, massive.
Just the situation you came into last night, you've already pitched an inning, you get a hit that gives you guys the lead, and then you got to come out in the 10th and close it out. Just your emotions coming into that game, and how good did it feel to get the win and get the job done?
Yeah, it definitely felt very good. Yeah, it was. We were pretty short in the staff, and at that point, I was technically the manager on the field, so felt a little bit weird putting myself in. But you know, it was me and Sato left. Sato was going to come in the 11th if it got there, and so when I came in the 9th, I was nervous because just naturally it was the 9th. I didn't want to blow that. And then the 10th, I knew Doyle there. He's a fast guy. I was quite concerned about him. That's really what was in my mind for the most part. So it might have played in my favor that I was thinking about him more than the actual situation. But I was nervous, to be honest. But you know, I've been getting more confident. My arm's been feeling good, and it felt good to get it done, throwing strikes and you know, being competitive up there. So yeah, that's all it.
Dennis Devanning has been getting it done for you guys as well. Just to get that hit, it's, you know, kind of just a signature of how hot he's been at the plate. What can you say about what he's been doing for the team?
Yeah, Dennis is, for lack of a better term, he's been a dog for us. He comes in clutch. His last 2 games, he's absolutely been sparking the boys, and I think that's he's playing a big part in what's been going on, us turning the tables a little bit here. So if he can keep it going and get that spark going to a flame, that'd be good. And I think if he just keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be a big part of this team going forward.
All right, Adam, thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Thomas.
Next up for the Maple Leafs, the Barrie Baycats on Wednesday night at Christie Pitts. These teams have split the season series, but you know the Baycats will be hungry after their 2-1 loss at home to Toronto. Thanks so much for tuning in to Leafs Weekly.
Thanks, Thomas. It's been a tough go of it as of late for the Leafs, but their offense started showing some signs of life last weekend after a relatively sluggish month of July. And I think the reason for that change is the reintroduction of Marcus Connect. Throughout the month of July, Jordan Castaldo hadn't really been seeing the pitches that he needed because of the lack of backup from Connect behind him. And over the weekend, the Leafs had a 9-run game against the Guelph Royals and then a 13-run game against the first-place Welland Jackfish. And I think that's because of Connect's presence in the lineup. For the first time since July 1st, all three of Connect, Castaldo, and Dennis DeBanning were in the lineup together, creating an incredible 1-2-3 for this Toronto Maple Leafs lineup. That same thing is happening here tonight, and the Leafs search for their first home win in 10 games. That's all for now. I'll send it back up. Thomas?
All good stuff. Thanks, Noam. This is a big one tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs and Barrie Baycats do battle in a game that could be a bit of a momentum swing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but Zach, most importantly, they want to break this losing streak at home.
Yeah, and they played a couple of really tight games as of late, and they've come out on top. Again, the one against Welland, the one against Barrie last time. But I think everything in the players' minds is that home losing streak currently, and a lot of them, they want to get back on the schneid, if you want to say it, here at home.
Noam Streifer was talking a little bit about Jordan Castaldo being in the lineup and now having a little bit of lineup protection with guys like Dennis DeBanning and Marcus Connect, who's now back in the lineup. He's got a whole lot of protection, and all of a sudden, he's hitting really well again. 3 home runs in his last 2 games, and when Jordan Castaldo is good, the Toronto Maple Leafs win a lot of baseball games.
Well, when you look at it, really, this top, I would say 5 to 6 players in this lineup, they're all elite hitters. It was just, a lot of guys out with injury. Castaldo just happened to miss a little bit of time because he had work and everything. Again, this is a working man's league. We say it day in and day out. But really, when you look at the thing now, this Maple Leafs team, they look like they're almost near fully healthy. A lot of these everyday players are back, and they're making the big contributions. And it's going to be really interesting to see what can Castaldo and Connect do. They're back in the lineup together here at once, and you see their names right there on that home run leaderboard. Yeah, so Jordan Castaldo's got 9 RBIs in his last game. He's got 509 now in his IBL career, which, those are some pretty big numbers that he's starting to put up. We were thinking at the beginning of the season, though, there's no way he catches Kevin Hinton at 517 this season, right? Well, he's got 26 RBIs on the year. He's 8 away from catching the former Toronto Maple Leaf Kevin Hinton for second all-time in the Intercounty Baseball League, which is crazy. And we were just looking at the IBL home run leaders as well. Jordan Castaldo is starting to put himself in that conversation of getting up to that 10 home run mark. And I mean, hey, he may just lead the Intercounty Baseball League in home runs. Tonight might determine a lot of whether or not that happens. In his mind, he probably wishes he got off to a bit of a hotter start than he did. Obviously, he had that little cold spell, but he is red hot right now. He's seeing the ball extremely, extremely well. And, he's a guy that if he gets hot, don't let it be for too long if you're an opponent, because that can soar. And like you said, he has chances this season, which we didn't think was possible, to make some history.
So the Intercounty Baseball League trade deadline has come and gone. The Toronto Maple Leafs are deciding they're going to stick with the crew that they've got right now. But on the other side, the Barrie Baycats, they made some moves over the last couple days. And I think there's some interesting names on this list as well. You've got guys like Ramon Henriquez and Justin Groves, who are both former Hamilton Cardinals. You've got Jason Roach, who's a youngster who came out of the Toronto Mets program. But, Justin Groves is someone who you've watched a lot playing with the Humber Hawks. He had a pretty good season this year at Humber, didn't he?
Oh, he had a fantastic season. I mean, he was one category away from missing the Triple Crown, and he did a really good job of just, bat to ball, and he's a really good hitter and a really good fielder. He's played catcher before. He's an outfielder, but all around he's a solid baseball player. And the one hit in the 13 at bats I don't really think reflects his style of game. And I think Barrie got themselves a really good player.
Yeah, won the MVP with the Humber Hawks this year. He's got a lot of accolades playing with Humber, so it should be interesting to see him. And the Barrie Baycats picking up a couple good players that were on the side of the Hamilton Cardinals both earlier this season, so it'll be interesting to see how they pan out here with Barrie. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Barrie Baycats. It's Noel McGarry Doyle leading things off. He has been fantastic, an all-star and red hot right now for Barrie, followed by Brandon Hernandez, who's the shortstop, and Willie Garcia, who had 3 hits in his last game, all of them doubles. By far the best game that we've seen from Willie Garcia all season long as a member of the Barrie Baycats. He's in the number 3 spot tonight. The power hitting Nolan Macabroda is the DH, batting 4th. Batting 5th is Francisco Hernandez, who's at 1st, and then it's the third baseman batting 6th, Noah Hall, followed by Clayton Keys, Magnane, and Wickett
are going to round out the lineup for the Barrie Baycats today, who, you know, there's a couple guys that haven't been everyday players in the lineup for the Baycats. Maybe they're just a little bit short-handed tonight. Certainly something the Maple Leafs want to take advantage of.
Yeah, they definitely want to just hop on this Baycats team. Again, they've been playing really good baseball, really, since, I want to say, probably about a month and a half after the season started. You know, some were saying possibly that championship hangover that you always hear about, and that seemed to be what it was. And then they lost a big guy in Ryan Rio, and we thought, you know, maybe this Baycats team is going to struggle this year. They've shut all the haters up. They've done a really good job of playing really good baseball, really clean baseball, and I think not only has their offense been really well, their pitching has been basically elite.
We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we've got the pitching matchup for tonight's game.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made the time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that if you are able to please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. Car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, taking a look at the pitching matchup today, Franklin Hernandez. Let's start with him, Zach. He's on the side for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And I mean, Franklin Hernandez has been nothing short of sensational since he joined the Maple Leafs. 3 games. He doesn't have a win yet, but look at that strikeout to walk ratio, 16-1. He has been so good. He has been a flamethrower. ERA sitting at 2.18. And I mean, the Maple Leafs, they were hoping to get a guy like this year to just kind of really bridge that gap to the bullpen. And I mean, he's just been doing everything. Came in as a reliever, and he's just transformed into a starter.
Jonathan Warden is on the other side of things for the Barrie Baycats, has an ERA of 6.94 in just 11 2/3 innings pitched for the Baycats, but he's got a lot of strikeouts over that stretch, has played against the Toronto Maple Leafs once, has never gone more than 2 2/3 innings. The game he did have against the Maple Leafs, one of his better outings. He was scoreless over an inning, struck out a couple Toronto Maple Leafs too. That was back on July 24th. Right now, he's pitching on 4 days rest. He played in that game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. That was the last time out. The Barrie Baycats won that game, gave up 3 runs over 2 innings, none of them earned. But the Toronto Maple Leafs have got to be looking at Jonathan Warden, saying maybe this is a guy they can capitalize, but most importantly, they want to look on the other side of things and see if Franklin Hernandez can secure that starting rotation spot for the Leafs in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think they're more so looking at Franklin Hernandez just continue to go out and have another really good start. He's been a very quiet, very professional pitcher. And what I mean by that is, when he's throwing, he's in the zone. He's very quiet on the mound, doesn't have a lot of movement, gets the ball back, gets into his motion, delivers the pitch. It's nothing crazy. He's not a guy that showboats or anything. He's a very quiet pitcher. And, so, that's something the Maple Leafs were looking for and something they really needed.
Yeah, he is. He does kind of have that calm demeanor on the mound. I know he's living with some of the other import players right now, and all those guys from the Dominican Republic that he's living with right now on the Toronto Maple Leafs, they are boisterous. They're always talking. Franklin Hernandez is always the guy that kind of keeps it cool, calm, collected. He's a very professional pitcher. When he gets in his zone, that's when he's the most dangerous.
Yeah, and he's a strike thrower, and the strikeout to walk ratio really shows that he can deliver in big moments. He's had a lot of shutdown innings so far for the Maple Leafs. I remember talking to a couple of the players early on when he first joined the team, and they weren't sure. Hey, is he going to be is he going to be in the relief pen, back of the bullpen type guy? Is he going to be a starter? And no one really knew. And
yeah.
I think he's kind of forced the hand of coaches and management saying, hey, I'm going to be a starter, and I'm going to be a really dominant one.
Yeah, I think he wants to be on the mound, taking the ball to start games for the Maple Leafs as well, even though he was so dominant in his last outing with his last season with the Maple Leafs. Back in that 2022 season where he was a relief pitcher, sometimes a multi-inning relief pitcher. And today, trying to give the Toronto Maple Leafs some quality innings in the starting position as this first pitch is hammered by Noel McGarry-Doyle, high, deep, and off the top of the wall. This one's going to pinball back towards center field. Noel McGarry-Doyle will have to settle for a double, and he cruises in there to lead off the ball game.
Yeah, and that one right there stays in the park because if you look at those flags at center field, they are blowing completely to left field. That ball got completely killed. And a really big thank you for Hernandez. Obviously not the way he wanted to start the game, though.
Yeah, if left-handed hitters want to take the ball the other way, that fence out there in left is not very tall, at least compared to the other one, and not very far away either.
A little bit of a height discrepancy.
Absolutely. But if you're a right-handed hitter, pulling the ball is going to be a good thing. You get that ball in the air, the wind is really starting to blow all the way out there to left field.
And it's been an interesting summer here at Dominico Field because, some games there's no wind and it feels like nothing's getting out. Then other days are like today where there's just wind completely pushing the ball out.
Brandon Hernandez steps into the dish now, and Hernandez takes low, ball 1, the count's, or ball 2, sorry, the count's now 2-0. Toronto Maple Leafs on the infield, Ryan Dos Santos at third base, Spencer Ross at shortstop, Dan Mara at second, and Jordan Castaldo playing first base. Justin Mara doing the catching today for Franklin Hernandez. Brandon Hernandez rips this ball foul off to the left, the wind helping that ball be pushed out of play.
Yeah, and that's the best example of that's what the wind's going to be a factor today. It's a little bit of a late swing from Hernandez at the plate, but he got the distance on it.
So 2-1 the count now. And there's a strike, a breaking ball from Hernandez. The outfield for the Maple Leafs, Luca Boscarino out there in left field today for the Maple Leafs, Dennis DeBanning in center, and Marcus Connect in right. Dennis DeBanning still red hot with the bat for the Maple Leafs. This one's hit on the ground to Dan Mara at second base. This will advance the runner, but the Maple Leafs do get it out, 1 away. And Noel McGarry-Doyle moves up to third base.
Yeah, and that's a big out right there. You just get that first one out of the way. It's a ground ball. It gets the infield acclimated beautifully, and you're okay giving up that 90 feet.
So Ryan Dos Santos chatting with Noel McGarry-Doyle there at third base. The Maple Leafs posted Ryan Dos Santos mic'd up the other day, and boy, did he ever like to go around the base path and chit-chat with all the different players on the infield. Continuing that on the other side of the ball today as well. Willie Garcia at the dish now.
Yeah, I asked him about the video, and when he's talking to himself and singing, and I said to him, you sing the songs when you walk a lot. And he goes, because I hear them so often.
Yeah.
So he just has fun.
1-0 pitch finds the zone from Hernandez. Breaking ball to Garcia, and the count's 1-1.
That's a beautiful secondary pitch to go to right there. The first fastball misses, and then you freeze him right there on another one that's looking like a high inside fastball, but it breaks down low.
Here's the 1-1. Garcia takes a strike at the knees.
Love going back-to-back there. This is a hitter in Willie Garcia. He has seen some of the best pitching in the world, so you can't really go to the well once more here. You just got to kind of set yourself up.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a much-needed punch-out for Franklin Hernandez.
Really an all-around great job sequencing in that at-bat. Willie Garcia, again, we know with the experience levels that he has, the ability to read pitchers, and he does a fantastic job right there when it comes to just, understanding, hey, this guy can probably hit the fastball really, really hard. You get him looking at 2 back-to-back sliders, and then you blow fastball right by him.
Got to watch out for this guy, though, Nolan Macabrota. He's got big power that plays up here at the pits. That was a big swing at the first pitch, but came up empty. Oh, 0-1 the count on Macabrota. And he lines one right to Dan Mara at second base. He had him played perfectly. Boy, that was a hot shot off the bat, but Franklin Hernandez works around the leadoff double. 0-0. Maple Leafs and Baycats at the pits.
To be the best, you've got to ring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Well, back here at Dominico Field, Ryan Dos Santos leading things off for the Maple Leafs. It's the first pitch from Jonathan Warden getting the start today at Dominico Field. And the count's 1-0. Dos Santos takes a strike. That one at the top of the zone, and the count 1-1. Ryan Dos Santos hitting .233 on the season for the Maple Leafs. Had 3 hits in Welland last time out. That pitch is just outside.
Yeah, big day at a leadoff spot for number 8. And, the batting average, again, it might not be there, but when you look at, the other offensive categories and stats that he has, he's slugging .400 with an on-base of .430.
The 2-1 fouled back. The count's now 2-2. Trying to get on base just like his counterpart, Noel McGarry Doyle, the leadoff hitter for the Barrie Baycats, did.
So many big boppers in this Maple Leafs lineup, really 1 through 6.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called at the knees, and there's one away.
Warren went with the outside pitch and got him looking.
John Javier at the dish now, followed by Jordan Castaldo and Marcus Connect, Dennis DeBanning. That's a big three in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Batting 7th is Justin Mara. Dan Mara, Spencer Ross, and Luca Boscarino round out the lineup for the Maple Leafs. Warden's first pitch to Javier, and he went off speed on him. John Javier out in front.
Yeah, it's like death taxes and John Javier taking the biggest swing known to man on the first pitch. You love to see it, though.
The 0-1. Javier takes low and outside. John Javier hitting .345 on the season for the Maple Leafs and 142 at-bats on the season. The 1-1. A strike taken on the outer half.
You can kind of see there, Javier, he's asking the umpire, he's like, was that high or outside? Where did that catch? And the umpire just kind of said, nope, it caught the plate. And we saw that in the first at-bat with Dos Santos as well.
The 1-2 pitch low and outside. Big gust of wind just blew through the pits. It's, you know, looking a little bit stormy here. Didn't see anything in the weather forecast, but there's definitely a bit of an ominous wind starting to blow through the diamond. Here's the 2-2. That one's outside, and the count runs full.
Yeah, you gave us the great weather report earlier in the day. It was raining, and then it stopped about 30 minutes later.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I said.
Yeah, the second you said it, I checked the forecast immediately, and it looked like there was just one little cloud over Toronto.
The 3-2. Javier checks his swing. Did he go? No, says the umpire at first base. Ball 4. And Jordan Castaldo will come up in an RBI situation.
And again, how about this from Jordan Castaldo? I mean, we talk about the numbers that he has. You can see the 6 hits, 3 home runs. He is slugging .656.
That's good.
That is an insane number.
That sounds like an OPS.
His OPS, if you were curious, over 1,000. 1.126.
Not bad.
He is hitting the ball hard, and you know there's nobody else happier at the ballpark right now than Jordan Castaldo.
3 homers in his last 2 games will help that number out. This time he flares one towards left field. Boy, that one's carrying, and it's all the way to the wall, but into the glove of Keys out there in left. That's allowed, out number 2.
But you can kind of see how Keys went back, and he ducked a little bit because he didn't realize how close to the fence he got. Again, that ball's going to be carrying all night long. Those lefties are going to have to kind of use that, and Castaldo did it to perfection, just didn't get enough under it.
Yeah, Clayton Keys looked like he had a beat on that ball, and then it just kept going back, and I can't help but wonder if the wind played a factor in that one.
Hey, so I was talking about Castaldo's slugging. Do you want to know what Marcus Connect's slugging is?
Sure do.
728.
Oh, that's better.
That is ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, Marcus Connect and Jordan Castaldo are both putting their names in the hat to try and lead the Intercounty Baseball League in home runs this year. Here's the 0-1. Marcus Connect was injured for a good chunk of time this season. He's been back for a couple games now for the Maple Leafs. Jordan Castaldo didn't. He was in a bit of a slump in the exact same time Marcus Connect was out of the lineup, which was really bad timing for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they went on a bit of a losing skid. But they're both back, and the home run leaderboard hasn't really changed. They've still got a shot at this thing.
And that's what I was going to say is Marcus Connect, he missed so much time early on in the season. Again, it was about a month and a half, maybe 2 months that he missed. And his name didn't really drop out of that home run race, which was kind of insane to think about. It just shows how good of a year he was having before he got hurt.
The 2-1 pitch outside from Warden, who's starting to lose that release point a little bit on the mound. He does have 2 outs in the inning here. He's one quality pitch from getting out of this thing, but you got to be careful with Marcus Connect here. 3-1, though. He's got some serious power. Hitters count for Marcus. The 3-1. Connect takes a strike on the outer half. That was a perfect pitch. You know, and I think that's one of the ones that if Marcus Connect had taken a rip at that, probably would have grounded out. So probably a good pitch to take, especially when you have a little bit of leeway in the at-bat.
We're seeing early on Warden really use the outside corners. He got Dos Santos looking on a pitch that was low and away, and he got Javier looking at a couple that were outside. And right there again to connect.
The 3-2. Runner goes, ball 4. Javier at second, connect at first, and here comes DeBanning.
This is the thing with hot hitters in your lineup is, one guy walks and you think the opposing team, you think, okay, hey, one of the most dangerous hitters is done. We don't got to worry about him. And you have a guy right now, Dennis DeBanning, coming up who might be the hottest hitter on the Maple Leafs.
Believe it or not, the crazy hit streak that he has going is still alive. He's actually starting to come down to earth just a little bit. He's becoming a well above average IBL hitter in his last couple games, which is crazy to think about because he has been so hot for so long. Had a couple hits last game against the Welland Jackfish. One of them was a home run.
Well, if you look back on it, July 4th against Barrie in that 6-8 loss they had, he had an on-base percentage of .288.
Yeah.
Yesterday's game after Welland, he raised that to .373.
Yeah.
And it just really shows the run that he's been on.
Dennis DeBanning, if you even think back to the game against the Barrie Baycats, he struck out 4 times in his first 4 at-bats. Then what does he do in the extra innings? Comes up and wins the game for the Maple Leafs. That's just kind of the mental fortitude that we've seen this season from Dennis DeBanning. The 1-0. DeBanning takes in the dirt. That one kicks away and rolls all the way to the backstop, and now Dennis DeBanning has 2 in scoring position.
And then let's also not forget the big hit he had in Welland where he didn't pull the ball. He went dead center field for a home run, and that really impressed me because, it's tough enough to pull a baseball for a home run, but when you're able just to go right to the deepest part of the park usually, it's truly, truly impressive.
The 0-2. In the dirt, 3-0. Justin Mara's on deck. Mara is a lefty with a righty pitcher on the mound. DeBanning, though, has been red hot. I wouldn't groove this 3-0 pitch right down the middle. And DeBanning squaring to bunt. And he takes outside ball 4.
Hey, I don't hate that. You're not going to be swinging 3-0. Possibly could have gotten the green light with how good of a bat he's been lately. But that's a team player right there. You put the pressure on the pitcher to make a strike, and you can't do it, you take your free bag.
I guess it's worth mentioning, too, after Dennis DeBanning won the game against the Barrie Baycats, that single to make it 2-1 in the 10th, he had some words with the Barrie Baycats dugout. And he ended up getting ejected from that game, suspended 1 game. But, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were going through a slump. They were trying to break the losing streak. I talked to some of his teammates about that, and he said, that was something that really got them fired up. And they've rode a little bit of that momentum.
Well, we've talked to guys all season. We've talked to DeBanning, Dos Santos, and the Maras connect. We asked them, what's the mindset of the clubhouse right now, even amongst the losing streak? And they all basically had the same answer, saying, we're here together. We're here to win it as a team. We want to win it with these guys. And it looks like, that they're finally starting to click. Something was missing the last month or so, the last couple of weeks, but they're finally starting to click, and it's the right time to start clicking.
Bases loaded, 2 outs for Justin Mara, and he takes a ball just outside. Big spot in the ball game right here.
That's a veteran play right there by Mara. Usually after a mound visit and a guy that just walked on 4 pitches, he's going to come at you with a fastball just down the middle. Mara still doesn't get phased and chases it, and he gets ahead in the count 1-0.
Justin Mara was 1 for 4 in Welland, walked a couple times. The 1-1 pitch, well outside. Josh Magne, who's the catcher today for the Barrie Baycats, had to take a stab to his left to catch the baseball. And Mara swings and misses, and the count's 2-2.
He went with a high heat there and got him chasing.
Big pitch here early on in the ball game. 2-2. Outside, full count, and that'll set up an even bigger pitch. Nowhere to put Justin Mara. He blew him away with a fastball upstairs. You'd have to think he's coming right back at him here. The 3-2. Mara takes inside, ball 4. He heads down to first base, and the first run of the ball game for the Maple Leafs scores. It's 1-0.
Not phased at all there is Justin Mara. Another veteran approach from this Maple Leafs team, and they get themselves the lead because of it.
So bases still loaded for the Leafs. Dan Mara at the dish. And he takes ball 1.
And in moments like this with the bases loaded, this is the worst kind of hitter you can have at the plate if you're the pitcher, because Dan Mara is a guy that he just slaps the ball everywhere on the field, and he makes it so tough for a pitcher.
Now he takes upstairs.
It's just never a comfortable at-bat, and Warden will probably see this here as he's now behind 2-0.
Good pitch to find the zone. The 2-1. This one's hit in the air to left field, and it's going to hang up in center as Noel McGarry-Doyle tracks it down, and that'll end the inning. Dan Mara gives it a ride. His brother Justin drives one in with the walk. It's the Maple Leafs who lead 1-0. Francisco Hernandez leading things off and slashes one to the outfield, and a running catch made by Marcus Connect for the first out.
Those there, they're always the hardest plays to make if you're an outfielder, especially if you're in the opposite field of where the batter is standing, because the ball slices away from you. And Connect read it beautifully right off the bat, and he had the play made perfectly.
Now Noah Hull steps to the plate, takes a strike right on the outside corner. He's hitting .267 on the season. The 0-1. Up and away. swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt, and Hernandez jumps ahead. 5 home runs, 16 RBIs on the season for Noah Hall. Here's the 1-2. This one's fouled off to the left. Clayton Keys, the left fielder, is on deck. He's going to get an at-bat here this inning. The 1-2 to Hall. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Franklin Hernandez has his second strikeout of the evening.
And this is something we've been seeing a lot with the hitters that Hernandez has been facing, is they just don't look comfortable at the plate. I don't know if it's something in his delivery that they can't pick up or the way he's just releasing his pitches, but nobody has been able to really get a good barrel. You know, we saw Noah McGarry Doyle. He probably has the hardest hit we've seen off Hernandez all year.
Keys stakes upstairs, ball 1. Franklin Hernandez, an ERA of 2.19 coming into the start for the Maple Leafs, has been excellent, whether he's coming out of the starting rotation or the bullpen. And that was a pretty good breaking ball in the inner half. You could see Keys kind of give up on it, and then it found its way into the strike zone.
Yeah, a lot of pitchers, they will abuse that inside slider where, you know, it initially just doesn't look like it's hitting anything and then comes over the plate and just hits that corner every single time.
The 1-2. He got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Franklin Hernandez, who is rolling. Hasn't given up anything since the leadoff double of Noel McGarry Doyle, and Toronto, who already got 1 in the first, is coming up in the bottom of the second. Well, back here at Dominico Field, Spencer Ross leading things off for the Maple Leafs. Warden's first pitch is up and away, ball 1. Ross takes another pitch upstairs.
We've seen a lot of different ways Spencer Ross has been utilized in the batting order this year, and we've seen it a lot in the bottom half of the order. This is the kind of guy that you like to see at the bottom of the order just because of his ability to just to flip the lineup over.
Chops one on the ground to short. Hernandez has it, throws to first in time. That's the first out.
Yeah, Brandon Hernandez is one of the best fielding shortstops we've seen in the IBL. And, you know, the last time that Barrie was here, he had a bullet for an arm. Every single time, it was a bullet across the diamond.
Oh, Luca Boscarino, the left fielder for the Leafs. And he takes a strike. And that one hits him. Boscarino took that one right off the hands. It looks like he's okay, but that one probably hurt a little bit. He'll head down to first base.
Yeah, probably the most painful way to get a free bag, but as the 9-hitter, you're going to take that every day of the week.
So back to the top of the order. Here's Ryan Dos Santos. Dos Santos takes a big rip at the first pitch and fouls it off.
He went down looking his last time up, and you can see he visibly didn't agree with the one low and away. One of those 50-50 balls where you're hoping it goes your way as a hitter.
Swings and foul tips that ball, and the count's 0-2. This pitch is upstairs. "16 strikes, 24 balls for Warden today. Maple Leafs scored their first run via a walk. Here's the 1-2 to Dos Santos. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Warden got him again.
Bring up Javier for his second at-bat of the day. He walked, and he's the only run so far here in this one. First pitch missing high for ball 1. John Javier still sitting up there in the average, 345. Only person that's better than him is Marcus Connect at that 380 mark on the team.
Javier chops one. Foul. Oh, just foul down the third base line. Definitely landed in foul territory, but you never know, when that's a high hopper, if it's going to stay fair as it crosses over the bag. That was close from John Javier.
Yeah, you're always hoping that, it hops over the bag, you get that fair call, and you're looking towards extra bases. But here, Javier just going to go back up.
Javier walked in his first at-bat. There's the 1-1. Outside. Two and 1 the count now. That one misses, and the count's 3-1.
And it gets dangerous. You can't have two batters on with Jordan Castaldo just looming on deck. He missed a home run really by a matter of inches last time up. He did exactly what we were saying to do, is just push the ball to left field, let the wind play factor. And he did that, and it went all the way to the fence. It was a nice catch out there and left by Keys.
Javier takes up and away. How about that? John Javier has walked twice today for the Maple Leafs, and they've got 2 on here in the second.
Who is this patient hitter in John Javier?
A patient hitter who is 345. That's a good combo for the Maple Leafs. This is the most patient hitter, though, in the league, Jordan Castaldo. Although he's been swinging the bat lately because he's getting some pitches to hit. When you got Marcus Connect and Dennis DeBannon coming up behind you, you get pitches to hit, and Jordan Castaldo has not been missing them.
Yeah, he's been performing extremely well, but one point I was just going to make on Javier is you always forget how young he is. He's still one of the younger guys, and you know, for him to continue to learn every game and every at-bat, it's always a positive when you see him kind of become a different type of hitter. You know, we know he has the power, we know he has the contact ability, but seeing him take free bases, that's always a good thing too.
Yeah. 2 on for the Leafs. The 0-1 to Castaldo. And he fouls it off. Jordan Castaldo's, you know, recent success has come here with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but his legacy really has been with the Barrie Baycats. 6 consecutive championships. Just unbelievable numbers by anyone in any league to do that. Obviously, Barrie Baycats fans will have fond memories of Jordan Castaldo's incredible seasons that he played in Barrie. The 0-2, and it's lined to second, and it's caught on the fly. That's going to end the inning. Well, a couple innings have ended that way. One went the way of the Maple Leafs. This time it does not go the way of the Maple Leafs. A line out for Jordan Castaldo. The Maple Leafs don't score in the second, but lead 1-0 over Barrie. Well, back here at Dominico Field and taking a look at the last game for the Barrie Baycats. It was a barn burner against the Barnstormers. Juan Benitez had an uncharacteristic start, gave up 7 runs, but then he got some help from relief. He certainly got some help from the offense. How about Chris Nagorski, the former Toronto Maple Leaf? He picks up his first win as a Barrie Baycats, and then Willie Garcia, who was maybe the difference maker in that game. 3 hits, 3 doubles. It wasn't the RBIs, but he scored all 3 times he made it to second base. And the Maple Leafs trying to limit his bat in the lineup today.
Yeah, we know this Barrie Baycats team is a very talented squad, and you know, for them to have a day like that after a really uncharacteristic Juan Benitez start, you know, it says a lot.
Yeah, Juan Benitez, one of the big 3 for the Baycats. Not Maple Leafs very fortunate to not face one of the big 3 starters here today. This one's hit on the ground to second base. Dan Mara has it. Flip to first. Out number 1 as Magne is retired. That's going to bring up Alex Wickett.
Second baseman number 81, Alex Wickett.
Alex Wickett has had a nice season for the Barrie Baycats when he's been in the lineup, hitting .395 and 43 at-bats. Last played on July 22nd in a loss to the Guelph Royals. Wickett fouls that one off.
He tried to wait back on that, but waited a little too long. And again, it looks like Hernandez, something about his fastball, it is jumping on these hitters, and it's making it difficult for them to catch up to it.
Last time Alex Wickett has got a start was back on July 13th. As Wickett takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
I think any question Maple Leaf fans had about Hernandez being a relief arm, I think those are gone now. He is continuing to look really, really good in the starting role.
Strike 3 called. Another punch out for Franklin Hernandez. Give him 4 on the night, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, it's been just tough for these Baycats hitters to pick up what's coming out of the hand here of Hernandez. The only one to do it on the night is the man up at bat, and Noel McGarry Doyle.
Yeah, Franklin Hernandez really got down to business there in that those two at-bats facing the 8-9 hitters. Now Noel McGarry Doyle comes up with nobody on base.
He hit the laser right off the top part of the wall in right field for the leadoff double, but nothing came of it.
The 0-1 in the dirt. Noel McGarry Doyle with his hit in his first at-bat raises the batting average to .412 on the season. It's on a good sample size too. This will be his 103rd at-bat of the year. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Strike two. He's way out in front of that pitch there from Hernandez.
I was going to say, it looked like he completely just pulled the chair out from underneath him right there. Had him way out in front.
The 1-2. That one's fouled off to the left.
Man, that slider that he threw to Noel McGarry Doyle, that thing had a lot of movement.
The 1-2. Upstairs.
Great thing of having the laptop here, I can diagnose the pitches after he's thrown them.
Brandon Hernandez on deck, hopeful of an at-bat if McGarry Doyle can get on. Here's the 2-2 outside. Full count. And it's outside ball 4, so the speedy Noel McGarry Doyle is going to head down to first base. And Brandon Hernandez will get an at-bat here.
Yeah, he works the walk, and it was a close pitch on the outside half.
Shortstop number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
Brandon Hernandez 0 for 1 today. He's hitting .259 on the season. Here's the first pitch to the Baycat shortstop. And it's ripped down the line, foul into the Maple Leafs dugout.
Everybody jumping around down the left field line.
Oh, 0-1. Willie Garcia, who struck out in his first at-bat, the on-deck batter for Barrie. Gary Doyle always a threat to steal over there at first base, and as that happens, he gets a throw over from Hernandez. 35 pitches into this outing for Franklin Hernandez. 25 strikes, 10 balls. Here's the 0-1 to Brandon Hernandez. And it's lined into the outfield. Marcus Connect right in his tracks makes the catch. And that's the third out of the inning. Franklin Hernandez has got through 3 scoreless innings for the Maple Leafs, and he's pounding the strike zone. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Back here at Dominico Field, Marcus Connect is going to lead things off for the Toronto Maple Leafs, facing Jonathan Warden, who has only allowed 1 run so far. But, Zach, the big number that is kind of blaring out on the screen right now, 6 walks in this outing. If he continues to have control issues and the Maple Leafs don't score in this inning, that's a big missed opportunity.
Yeah, and it was the 3 straight walks that got that first run on the board. And he proceeded to continue to have those control issues in the second inning, but a big-time strikeout and then, you know, the lucky line out to the second baseman.
The 1-0. Not to say that the luck has been on the side of the Barrie Baycats when it comes to lineouts. The Baycats have certainly had more hard-hit lineouts than the Toronto Maple Leafs have had today. Another one to Marcus Connect to finish off the inning, and that ball that got down, no question, Noel McGarry-Doyle would have been able to circle the base path and tie the game. That ball was hit to Marcus Connect. He's at the dish now for the Maple Leafs. Marcus Connect sitting on 8 home runs on the season, 2 off the Inter-County Baseball League lead. The 2-1. Connect takes a strike. As you mentioned, Zach, Marcus Connect leading the team in batting average, hitting .380 this year for Toronto. The 2-2. Down and away, and the count runs full.
You know, he's been so good at the plate, but he's also just been so good with just having a good eye. His bat has been electric every game he's been in. It's just been his patience that just continues to grow.
The full count pitch. Connect takes low, ball 4. He's walked now 7 times on the season, and the Maple Leafs get a base runner to lead off the inning again. If you look back to the last couple seasons for Marcus Connect, you know, we thought Marcus Connect was just putting up such like godly numbers back in 2022, 2021. Believe it or not, if he was able to hold that .380 batting average, that's the best he's ever had in the Inter-County Baseball League in a regular season. That great season he had in 2022, he hit .343. Dennis DeBanning had a season one year where he hit .400 for the Hamilton Cardinals. Trying to creep towards that mark, but the Maple Leafs will take exactly what they're getting right now from Dennis DeBanning. He has just been the perfect spark of life for Toronto the last month or so. The 0-1. A strike at the top of the zone. Warden ahead in the count here on Dennis DeBanning. The 0-2, and DeBanning fouls it off. I was talking to Adam Mara about Dennis DeBanning, and he said, Dennis, he's been a dog for us. He comes up clutch. He's absolutely been sparking the boys. He's been playing a big part in us turning the tables here. And, you know, that was before the tables had really been turned and they beat the Welland Jackfish. He was right. He has been the spark for this Maple Leafs team. The 0-2, down and away. Adam Mara also took the reference one step further and said he's kind of been the spark, and the Leaf players are the ones that are trying to turn it into the flame. Right now, still absolutely just embers with the losing streak at home, but you know, a flame is exactly what this team wants coming into the playoffs. The 1-2 in the dirt, goes to the backstop, it ricochets around. Marcus Connect easily able to get to second base, and he made a turn around the bag as well.
Yeah, and the Maple Leafs are just getting the contributions that they've been waiting for all season. And, you know, majority of their big dogs now are healthy, are in the lineup every day, and they're getting really good at-bats. Dennis DeBanning, like you mentioned, is one of those guys.
The 2-2 from Warden. Strike 3 called at the top of the zone, and that's the first out of the inning. That was a very calm discussion there from Dennis DeBanning. Did you see that? He kind of looked back at the umpire and just said, you know, is that at the top of the zone? He said, yes. He's like, okay.
Yeah, we're normally never able to see those things. Now we are. It's great.
Justin Mara gets into this one, and it is gone. Oh, baby. Justin Mara hit that ball way out of here, and it's 3-0 Toronto.
That ball hit the shortstop of the Little League diamond right behind right field. The shortstop turned around and fielded it. But wow, Mara wastes no time and just rockets a home run.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see that baseball at all. It just got lost in the gray sky here at Christie Pitts, but there was no question it was gone by the reaction of Justin Mara and just by the sound that had off the bat. He just demolished it. It was the exact pitch he was looking for, and he put the perfect swing on it. And the Leafs have opened up a 3-0 lead.
That's one of the loudest cracks of the bat we've heard here in a while. You know, we've seen big guys hit home runs here. We've seen John Salazzo hit balls to that diamond as well. And, I mean, that one was loud. That might be the loudest one I've heard.
The 1-0 pitch misses outside. Dan Mara, the batter now. He's got Spencer Ross on deck. And we were talking about the Maple Leafs needing to capitalize on some of these walks from Warden. They did. Justin Mara drove in Marcus Connect. He walked to start the inning. Counts 1-2 now on Dan Mara.
The thing I loved about that at-bat from Justin Mara was that he chased the first pitch. He went after it this time.
Here's a line drive into the outfield, and Spencer Ross keeps it going. Or, sorry, Dan Mara keeps it going for Spencer Ross, who's at the plate now. So Spencer Ross comes to the plate with 1 out. Ross grounded out in his last at-bat. That pitch misses outside, ball 1.
I like what the lineup is doing right now. They're putting all the pressure onto Warden and not letting him get comfortable in the box. You saw there, he tried to sneak a fastball first pitch to Justin Mara, and he got paid for that. And then back-to-back batters here where he's starting them off with a ball.
There's another ball that misses low to Ross. So that's now 69 pitches for Warden, and 38 of them have been balls. The 0-2. Ross takes a strike. But with that being said, I mean, it is still just 3-0. Baycats still very much in this game, but they have got to get out of this inning. Ross fouls it off the light pole down the right field line. Two and two the count now. Warden needs to get this out here to stop the bleeding. Misses outside, and the count's 3-2.
You see in the bullpen a couple arms warming up there for the side of the Barrie Baycats. Looked like Sebastian Kahn. Adam Kahn, excuse me.
The 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. Dan Mara was on the move, but it doesn't matter. There's 2 on now for the Leafs here in the third. we're going to get a mound visit here. Kahn has been warming up for a couple batters in the bullpen. If Kahn comes into this game right now, they're going to need a good chunk of innings for him to kind of bridge the gap to the guys later in the game. We're under the impression that this is a pretty short-handed Baycats squad today. And with Warden just over 70 pitches, I mean, if he can get out of this inning, he could still get another one in for the Baycats. Right now, they just got to find a way to get 9 innings out of their pitchers. Luca Boscarino is at the dish. He's the number 9 hitter today for the Maple Leafs.
Now batting the left fielder, number 84, Luca Boscarino.
And he lines one back up the middle for a base hit. Dan Mara had to hold his ground to make sure that ball wasn't caught, so he's going to stay at third base. They're loaded for the Leafs.
And I love that out of Luca Boscarino. It's just, you go up there, you see the mound visit, you see what he's been doing on the mound in Warden. Hasn't been throwing strikes. What's the first thing the pitching is going to tell you? Just throw first pitch strike. Get the ball over there. Boscarino, he knows that, and he just hits it right back up the middle.
Top of the order, and Ryan Dos Santos at the dish now. Base is loaded for the Leafs in the third. First pitch outside. This could be the game right here for Toronto. They're already up by 3. Lots of time left, but a big hit here from Dos Santos or even a pitching change, those could really change the course of the way this ball game goes. The 0-1. That's a strike. The ideal situation for the Barrie Baycats is they're able to cut a run down at home or they get a double play. Francisco Hernandez, who's the first baseman, is playing level with the bag at first. Noah Hull, who's at third, is playing pretty much straight up, a little bit behind the bag. Dan Mara will have decent speed coming down the line towards home. Luca Boscarino, who's just got the big hit to load him up. And Dos Santos swings and misses, and the count's 2-2. A 2-2 from Warden. Fouled off. Ryan Dos Santos' eyes have been pretty wide on a couple of these pitches. He's taking a couple big hacks in this at-bat.
Yeah, nobody wants to get a hit more in a situation like this than Dos Santos. He's been hungry for it all season. He'd be the first one to tell you that he doesn't think he's playing up to the level that he knows he can play at.
Had 3 of them hits against the Welland Jackfish last time out. Trying to come up with a big one here for Toronto. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And John Javier will come up, but now there's 2 away.
I think now we're getting the pitch and change here.
I think, yeah, that's going to be it for Warden. Kahn coming into the game for the Baycats. New pitcher to the game for the Barrie Baycats is Adam Kahn, who takes over. He comes in with an ERA of 3.85 on the season and 16 1/3 innings pitched. He's got 11 strikeouts, 8 walks over that stretch as well. Last played against the Toronto Maple Leafs on June 11th, and the Maple Leafs got to him. He pitched 4 innings. He gave up 4 runs. The Leafs had 5 hits in that game as well, walked 3. One of his longer outings of the season. Last time he pitched was against the Hamilton Cardinals, where he also got himself in a little bit of trouble, but didn't end up giving an earned run over an inning pitched. But one of the big things for Adam Kahn is that every single game that he's come into this season for the Barrie Baycats, they've ended up winning. And a lot of the time, you know, he comes in a situation like that, keeps the game close, gives his team a chance. Something he's done really well for Barrie this season.
Yeah, and he's usually a guy we see go 1, possibly 2 innings. You know, he's gone a couple 4, and he's gone 6 once. The 6 was against Brantford back in, or excuse me, I should say that was last year.
Yeah.
But
4 was the most this season.
Yeah, 4 1/3 against Guelph. And he actually did get the decision in that one.
John Javier at the dish. Bases loaded. 2 outs here in the 3rd. Javier takes a strike.
Well, we've seen Javier be patient 2 at-bats in a row. Would not be surprised to see him swing here.
Let's see. The 0-1. He's swinging, and he hits it well to left. That one's down for a base hit. 2 runs come in to score for the Maple Leafs. They're going to hold the 3rd at 3rd, and John Javier comes through with a big 2 RBI double.
Well, I said it after his 2nd at-bat. He's a young guy. He's still learning. He's still developing. But he's always going to have that hit tool. He's always going to be an elite bat-to-ball player, and he just displays it right there again.
That was pretty good. That was a pitch on the outer half. John Javier was a little out in front of it, but he still kept the barrel on it and pulled the baseball and got that one into the gap and left. You know, I think that ball was kind of off the end of the bat of John Javier too, but he still had enough power to split the outfielders and let it roll all the way to the wall.
Well, again, his swing is so long through the zone where you can kind of allow yourself to cheat like that a little bit, and Javier does it and gets another big-time hit.
Yeah, John Javier has a big swing, but he always keeps his head down on the baseball. He's not flying out, or he stays pretty compact in his swing. Castaldo trying to add on. 5-0 Toronto. Swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt there, and Kahn's out in front 0-2.
That just didn't look like a comfortable swing like we're so used to seeing from Castaldo. Kind of looks like Kahn might have got him there. Castaldo probably just looking at him saying, hey, you know what, that's a good pitch. You got me on 1, but now I know what you have.
Castaldo's 0-2 today. Pitched up and away. One and 2 the count on Jordan Castaldo. It's a 5-0 Maple Leafs lead here in the 3rd. Castaldo takes upstairs. I mean, Zach, you just think about the significance of this game today for the Maple Leafs, trying to snap the losing streak at home. They've put themselves in such a great position to do it, but, you know, they've had leads before. They were up 4-0 against the Guelph Royals. That was early on in the game. A big hit from Jordan Castaldo would make them feel a lot better right here.
Yeah, they would definitely love to see something from Castaldo at this at-bat.
He fouls another one off. He's making Adam Kahn work here. I mean, pitch count obviously still very low. He's only faced a couple batters, but he's going to need to give the Barrie Baycats some innings today. Long at-bats like this are not in Barrie's favor for trying to keep this game close. Here's the 2-2. Chopped back up the middle, and it's into center field. It's a base hit. John Javier getting the wave home. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. The Leafs score 2 more. Jordan Castaldo. Hey, it was a little bit unconventional, but he got it into center field, and it's 7-0 Toronto.
Yeah, it was a bit of an excuse me swing, and Castaldo still just gets enough power on it to drive it up the middle. 2 RBIs for big number 5.
That was a big hit. Maple Leafs may have been a little bit fortunate.
Number 4, Hernandez.
But it got the job done. Now Marcus Connect with Castaldo at first, and Marcus Connect keeps it going as he flares it into the outfield.
Well, they've technically batted around now. Connect led this sitting off with a walk, and I've run out of space on my score sheet.
So what do you do?
I'm just going to go down here.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
I am. I only have 9 innings. See, it only goes to 9. See, guys, I've done this. Has happened before. I've learned.
It looks like that space down there is for a situation like this.
It would be, yeah. Believe it or not, I don't think they bat 17.
Need a bigger scorebook.
Yeah, I keep it fun up here in the booth. I score the game as while we're calling it here.
That's pretty common, Zach.
Thanks.
This one's hit on the ground is short. Throw to first, Dennis DeBanning retired, but the Maple Leafs come up with a big inning. 6 runs in the third. They lead 7-0 over Barrie. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs finally got the breakthrough inning they've been looking for back in the third. And now Franklin Hernandez, who's been on the bench for a while waiting for that inning to end, comes back on the mound. And I thought something like that might have happened on the first pitch.
It's pretty common. Yeah, it's pretty common to see.
That breaking ball missed upstairs on Willie Garcia. Garcia hits one sharply on the ground past a sliding Dan Mara. That's a leadoff base hit for the Baycats as Garcia reaches, and he continues to swing a hot bat.
That's the first base hit since the leadoff man, McGarry Doyle.
Yeah, Franklin Hernandez has been really good, although this is a tough part of the order that he's got coming up. Willie Garcia, always a tough hitter. Anytime you play someone who played Major League Baseball, that's Willie Garcia. Now he has to face the power-hitting Nolan Macabrota. And after that, it's Francisco Hernandez, who's hitting .316 on the season. Macabrota hitting .333. Big swing at the first pitch. Clever breaking ball there from Hernandez, and it's 0-1. Anytime you go out and score 6 runs in an inning, the number one thing you want to do is try and get a shutdown inning to kind of solidify it on the other side of things from your pitcher. That's what Franklin Hernandez is trying to go out and do right now. Here's the 1-1 to Macabrota. Strike on the outer half. It's 1-2. Counts 2-2 now. Nolan Macabrota has 3 home runs on the season, but the big number is 28 RBIs. He's been an ideal cleanup hitter for the Baycats this season.
He's been a really good power bat. And I think that, you know, when they lost Ryan Rio, Macabrota kind of just stepped up mightily in that RBI role, and he's just been placed in that 4-hole ever since.
Here's the 2-2. Macabrota hits it on the ground to third. Dos Santos has it. Flipped to second for 1. On to first, and it's over the head of Castaldo down the line. Macabrota digging for 2. Now he's caught. Throw back to second. Dan Mara rushes him back, flips back to Jordan Castaldo. He'll run him all the way towards the base. A low throw picked up by Spencer Ross, and then he applies the tag. And the Maple Leafs eventually get the double play. It's a bit of a base running mistake, though, by Nolan Macabrota. Now there's 2 away in the 4th.
Well, I think the thing is also, if you look over the bullpen, there is a group of Barrie Baycats standing over there. That ball went wide, hit off of one of the players, and Macabrota thought it went all the way to the fence. It hit off the player, bounced back to the field. Castaldo able to get it easily, and then that play happens.
Yeah, if it hits a player, it probably should be a dead ball. So the umpires, I guess, saying that it didn't hit one of the Baycats, but it did look like it did hit one of them down in the bullpen. Ooh. Another breaking ball that slipped out of the hands of Hernandez, Franklin Hernandez. Went right over the head of Francisco Hernandez. The 1-0. Oh, look at that. Comes right back with the breaking ball. Started on the front hip again. He's got so much confidence in it, and he gets a strike, and the count's 1-1.
And that's the thing you like to see out of Franklin Hernandez is just the confidence when he's pitching. He understands what to do in certain situations, and right there, that's the perfect time to execute a breaking ball.
The 1-1 upstairs. Francisco Hernandez is 0 for 1 today. Franklin Hernandez has 4 punch-outs of Barrie Baycats today as well. The 1-2, that one misses low and outside.
So I've been watching him, trying to figure out what is it that's making it so difficult for these hitters to pick it up out of his hand. And the thing that I've been noticing on every one of his pitches is that he has this little hitch when he throws the ball right out of his hand where it kind of snaps back and he releases and it's just hard to pick up if it's a fastball or an off-speed.
Yeah. Look how long that ball stays behind his body, too, as he strikes out Francisco Hernandez. Or, sorry, That's ball 4 to Hernandez. So he heads down to first base. Don't even ask. I don't know.
You know, you can give me the chance.
Yeah. Before you rip on me, I'm just gonna shut it down.
But yeah, for all the pitching wizards or pitching nerds at home like me, when you're watching Hernandez pitch, you can kind of see it when he's just about to release the ball. It's when he comes completely separated from his glove and his throwing hand. When he comes about to throw, he has a little hitch with his wrist, and then he releases. It makes it so difficult because, you know, it gives the ball like a split-second delay coming out of your hand. And sometimes just that little point second, that could really mess up a hitter's timing.
The 1-0. This ball's fouled off. Timing's interesting too, because time is something that hitters don't have a lot of when they're facing Hernandez, because he's got a lot of velocity. Sitting in the low to mid 90s out there on the mound for the Maple Leafs, you got to react pretty quickly as to what pitch is coming, and if you can't get a bit of a tip out of the hand, it makes it a lot more difficult. Here's the 1-1.
Yeah, the key thing you'll always hear when you hear people talking about pitchers is tunneling. And what that is, it's basically you just want to hide the spin of the ball out of your hand. If you're able to make your arm motion and the way the ball comes out of your hand with your off speed and your fastball, it makes it so much more difficult for a hitter to pick it up. And like you said, they don't have a lot of time. So, you know, about 0.5 of that second of a fastball, is it a fastball? That can go to 1 second, and that 1 second is very costly for a hitter.
The 2-1. Hit in the air, this one towards left field, foul territory and out of play. Yeah, tunneling, a lot of that is the arm slot too, right? And arm slot is something that you see perfected a lot on these pitchers that have, you know, come out of minor league systems where they've had a lot of professional coaching from, you know, the top down in Major League Baseball teams. And Hernandez is another one of those very polished former professional pitchers on this Leafs team. Here's the 2-2. Ball's upstairs.
And I don't know if you see it pregame, but he goes through a rigorous, you know, pregame workout, pregame throwing regimen. He's a very, you know, I wouldn't say superstitious is the word, but he's a guy that sticks to his routine.
Yeah, rigorous is the way to put it. On off days when he's not pitching, he's sprinting up and down the hillside here at Christie
Hurts
Pitts.
me to watch.
The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That will end the inning. Franklin Hernandez has got through 4 scoreless. It's the Leafs who lead 7-0. Justin Mara is going to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hit a 2-run home run his last time up. He demolished it too. It was all the way onto the Little League diamond. That is well beyond the right field wall here at Christie Pitts. So that first pitch is down and inside. Yeah, that's the Little League diamond. You see where that shortstop, the guy who just threw the ball to first base there, that's about where the ball landed. Way beyond the wall out there.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous hit. And again, there's a game going on in that diamond behind, and the shortstop mid-game turned around, fielded the ball, and threw it back. It was fantastic.
Here's the 1-1 to Justin Mara. Low and maybe a bit inside. Five home runs now on the season for Mara. A 2-1. Swing and a miss. Batting average continues to climb for Justin, hitting .270 now on the season. It's up to 18 RBIs now on the year as well. Here's the 2-2. Mara gets into another one. This one is crushed, and it's going to drop and roll towards the foul line. Justin Mara, though, is going to hold his ground. Willie Garcia tried to come in and make a sliding catch, but just couldn't quite get there. That'll go down as a single for Justin Mara.
Yeah, and then Garcia on the play as well was trying to pick it up, and it was bobbling around. And Mara saw that, but he still elected to stay at first base.
So now Dan Mara at the plate. Justin Mara leads off the inning with a single. Dan Mara takes upstairs ball 1. Dan Mara has been a long-time Toronto Maple Leaf, but played college baseball at South Dakota State before joining the Maple Leafs. Dan Mara is 35 years old now, and I was talking to him last year, and he said, you know, if the Maple Leafs could just win a championship, might be a nice way for my brothers and I to cap off our Intercounty Baseball League careers.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, there's so many powerhouse teams in the IBL, but the Maple Leafs, you know, I think a lot of people are not paying attention to them right now because, again, it's been a lengthy losing streak at home. They were on a 5-game losing streak total, but this is a team that if they're all clicking at the same time, it's a deep lineup, and, well, you're seeing what Franklin Hernandez is doing tonight on the mound.
Three and 1 the count now on Dan Mara. Spencer Ross on deck. Mara takes a strike, and the count is full. Dan Mara had a sharp hit single in his last at-bat, right on the back of his brother Justin's home run. The count's full. The pitch from Kahn, and it's fouled off. Another 3-2. Mara hits a high chopper on the infield. Throw to first, just in time. That was a pretty good play by Alex Wickett, the second baseman. There was no problem with whether he was going to get to that baseball, but wasn't really in his hands. It was way up in the air, and he just had to go glove to hand as quick as he possibly could, and he got it to first base just in time.
Yeah, and you had to work it quickly. You know, the only play you had was at first base, so it was good of Wickett to understand, you know, I got to go quickly here, but I can still make a good play and a good throw out of this, and he did just that.
Justin Mara does move to second base now, so a runner in scoring position for Spencer Ross. Who takes a strike. The 0-1. Ross takes low. Spencer Ross spent 4 seasons with the Lawrence Vikings in the NCAA's Division III, and then also plays for the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. Very happy to be a Maple Leaf this season, a bit of a further drive when he was playing in Kitchener last year. The 1-1. Ross takes low, 2-1. The campus for UFT is just down the road from where we are right here at Christie Pitts, but the baseball team plays a little bit further away in a field out in Scarborough.
One team that plays out here is the George Brown Huskies in the OCAA.
Yep. The 0-1 pitch finds the zone. 2-2 the count now on Spencer Ross. Ross hits a sharply right back to Wicket, who stabs it, throws to first. Good play. And now there's 2 away. Although, if you had asked Francisco Hernandez at first base how many outs there were just a moment ago, he probably would have said 3 because he was on his way back to the dugout.
He was ready for the inning to be over.
Yeah, see now, look, he's pointing to all his teammates. Yeah, 2 away, guys.
Yeah, I knew the whole time. The whole time, guys, 2.
Con's still got to get through Boscarino to try and keep this 4th inning scoreless. And Luca Boscarino chops it on the ground. Brandon Hernandez has it, bounces it to first, and it gets away. A run comes in to score. Luca Boscarino just puts the ball in play, drives him in, and it's 8-0 Toronto.
Yeah, and right there, we've seen so many times Brandon Hernandez, he has such a good arm across the diamond. But that time, Boscarino, he's hustling down the line. So you put the pressure onto the shortstop, and you know sometimes a bad throw can happen. That's what happens right there.
Ryan Dos Santos comes to the plate now. Con at 29 pitches here, the second pitcher used by the Baycats. The 1-0. Outside 2-0. Well, Dos Santos fell behind in the count in his first 3 at-bats. Now he finds himself in a little bit more comfortable situation. 2-0 here on the pitcher Con. Trying to get John Javier to the dish here in the 4th. Yeah. I just wanted to touch after it happened too, when Hernandez threw that ball to first base, everything kind of got thrown off when he got a really tricky hop that he had to actually jump for because it bounced so high. Still threw a cannon over there to first, but it was low, and a really tough play for his brother at first base to try and pick out of the dirt.
Yeah, and his brother went down one knee, tried to block it as best you can, but with Brandon Hernandez and the speed that he has coming from off of his arm from the ball, it is tough sometimes to pick.
There's the 3-1. Outside ball 4, Ryan Dos Santos heads down to first base, and I believe that ties a career high 39 walks now on the season.
That it does. He's at 39.
"44 walks is the all-time record set by Bill Bykowski back in 1988, he was playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Ryan Dos Santos is on the brink of taking down that record that has been held for a long time in the Intercounty Baseball League. Javier swings and misses at the first pitch. He actually just took down Justin Mara, who had 39 walks in the season back in 2023. He was 5th all time, so now he's tied with him. Again, he did it last year as well. The 0-1. Javier hits one on the ground. Second try for Brandon, and he throws it over to Francisco at first, and plenty of time, and that will end the inning. But the Toronto Maple Leafs tack on one more. They lead 8-0 over Barrie. Back here at Dominico Field as Clayton Keys, the left fielder, lead things off. Franklin Hernandez back on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Great line so far for Franklin. He just allowed 2 hits, no runs, walked 2, and struck out 5 through 4 innings. He's got 7, 8, 9 here in the order for Barrie. Keys, Magne, and a wicket. Here's the 2-0. Low, ball 3. This will be pitch number 58 for Hernandez.
Interesting.
The number 7 hitter Keys swinging 3-0.
You know, it's something we haven't seen a whole lot this year, and there's been a couple of times where, you know, you could think possibly the hitter should swing 3-0, but one of the rare times right there.
The 3-1 swung on and missed, and the count's full. Full count pitch to Keys. And he missed with it. Clayton Keys will lead off the inning with a walk. That's something he's done quite well this season, be patient at the plate. He's now walked 12 times in 53 at-bats.
Yeah, it's only Franklin's third walk of the game, and he's been really efficient so far.
So this is Josh Magne, the catcher. And he gets a first pitch strike from Hernandez.
Yeah, some of these breaks have been long for Hernandez, so he's on the bench, you know, cools down a little bit. It's not the brisk, hot nights we're used to the last couple of weeks. It's actually kind of cooled down here. It's kind of the perfect weather for baseball.
Quick check on Keys, the runner at first base. It's worth mentioning, Franklin Hernandez was pounding the strike zone to start his outing, but the strike-to-ball ratio in the last couple innings has significantly decreased.
Yeah, and that could come from a mountain of things. You know, you're just getting deeper into a ball game and the fatigue starts to wear in. But he's also, like I said, he's had a couple of long breaks where he comes back on the mound. You got to get re-warmed. You got to get re-loose. So when you're doing that, it's a little bit easier to have that differentiate.
Magne fouls it off. Yeah, Franklin Hernandez over the first couple innings was, had a strike-to-ball ratio of like 3-to-1. That's how many strikes he was throwing. Now he's, getting a lot closer to 1-to-1 than anything else.
Yeah, it just seems like the Barrie Baycats, in one hand, they have started to tighten up their zone a little bit, not really expanding. And then at the same time, it's just Hernandez just falling behind a couple hitters here.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Or another strikeout for Hernandez. That's the first out of the inning. Well, if you saw that exchange there, I don't know whose bat it is, but Magne struck out and then flipped the bat to Alex Wickett, who's going to use the same bat that Magne was using for this at-bat.
I will say one thing about the Barrie Baycats, partner. Their fans, they travel in bunches. You hear them down that right field side all the time, starting the "Let's Go Baycats" chant. But for the first time here, a very loud one. We've heard the "Let's Go Leafs" chant. Started by a couple of young guys, young fellas.
The 0-1 to Wickett. Just outside, and the count's 1-1. That's been a great crowd here. The Friday night games have kind of been the biggest success, I think, for the Maple Leafs this season. It was country night last time out, and a lot of people were just loving it. They were into it the entire game. It was a great game against the Guelph Royals. And tonight's probably the best Wednesday night crowd that we've seen here this season.
Well, honestly, it's just perfect weather for baseball. There's a little bit of a breeze. It's been a really hot summer in the Greater Toronto area. And I mean, there's been a couple of scorcher days. But tonight, for the first time in maybe a month and a half, it's a little bit windy. There's a bit of a breeze. It's a little chillier, but it's a beautiful night for baseball.
The 1-2 to Wickett. Checked his swing and went around. Strike 3.
Hernandez liked that. He was pointing right back at the umpire, saying yes, he did.
Yeah, I think he did. So that bat used by the last two batters, Magne and Wickett, struck out twice.
I think that bat's not going to be used here by the leadoff man, Noel McGarry-Doyle.
Yeah. One of the things that you'll notice from, if you take a look at the bat rack from some of those, former professional players or guys that are, fresh out of playing really high-level baseball, is that one's up and in, hits Noel McGarry-Doyle. 2 runners on now for the Baycats in the 5th. Is that you'll see a lot of names engraved on those bats that you'll recognize.
Well, I mean, you still have I think the best scorer hands down on the year.
Yeah, so
out in Hamilton.
Rando Moreno, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, he broke his bat, and he comes back to the dugout, and he hands me the bat, and I was like, what am I supposed to throw this out for you? Like, it's broken. Like, and he's like, he says, no, dummy, look at the label. And it says Ellie De La Cruz. It was one of Ellie De La Cruz's bats that he's been using.
And then another fun one was there was a bat down in the dugout that had the Baltimore Orioles logo on it, and everyone was wondering, what's that one? It was an Eloy Jimenez bat as well from Mr. Rando Moreno.
The 0-1. Outside to Brandon Hernandez. Yeah, I can't quite read the label, but there's definitely some big league wood down there in that Maple Leafs dugout. No question about it. Here's the 1-1. High chopper. Back to the mound. Franklin has it. Whips to first. Picked by Castaldo. Yeah, the throw was late and also took Castaldo off the bag. But you know what, Zach? Jordan Castaldo just made a heck of a play to pick that ball and saved a run.
Yeah, that saves the run mightily, and he elected just to play for the ball rather than play for the out. And, sometimes, obviously, as a pitcher, it's frustrating because now you have bases loaded. But in the long run of things, that's a big play to be made on the defensive side.
Yeah, it took a couple hops on its way back to Franklin Hernandez, the pitcher. And the second hop was not very friendly. It didn't get to him very quickly. Dylan Oborn warming up in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. That's Brian Sewell out there on the mound for Toronto. So this is probably just a chat with Franklin. Two outs in the inning. Bases loaded for Barrie. If they're going to come back in this ball game, they need something big right here. This is the right guy to do it at the plate right now for the Baycats. First pitch to Willie Garcia. Swing and a miss. That was a really smart pitch there from Franklin Hernandez. Knowing Garcia's hot, he's been swinging the bat really well, so he crosses him up with a first pitch breaking ball. The 0-1. Back to the fastball, and it's inside. Here's the 1-1. In there for a strike, 1-2.
What we saw in the first at-bat for Willie Garcia, it was Franklin Hernandez that was able to best him. Then Garcia got that ground ball for the single his last time up. So count, I'd say, is 1-1 right now between these two.
A big 1-2 pitch from Franklin Hernandez. And he got him. Franklin Hernandez fired up in the fifth as he gets through another scoreless inning in what's been a fantastic start so far, and that will be it. Unbelievable. He gets the handshake from Rob Butler on the way in. He was phenomenal tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They lead 8-0 over Barrie. Well, that's the Jordan Castaldo banner that was raised for his 100 home runs that he's hit in the Intercounty Baseball League. He's since surpassed that by a large margin as he drills this one out to center field, and that one's right into the glove of the center fielder Noel McGarry-Doyle.
That's the third time that Castaldo has hit the ball extremely hard, and it's just been a line out right to a fielder.
So Jordan Castaldo, he's in the mix for the home run lead right now. He needs one more. Marcus Connect is coming to the plate right now. He's 2 off the lead. And yeah, Robert Mullen, who's been just sitting on 10 home runs for a while here, is leaving the door open for some of these Maple Leafs hitters to reach out and grab the lead. See if Marcus Connect can get himself one closer. I should mention Tristan Clark is up there in that department as well. He hasn't hit a home run in a little while, but Tristan Clark has been a great bat for the Baycats this season. Maple Leafs catching a big break that he's not in the lineup today.
He's a guy that normally hits extremely well here at Dominico Field, and not having him here, like you said, it's kind of a shocker, and the Maple Leafs definitely are dodging a bullet.
1-1 on Connect. Connect takes outside, and the count's now 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Connect swings and misses.
Big cut right. Looked like he knew it was coming, and then he just missed his spot with the bat.
Here's the 3-2 from Kahn. In the dirt, ball 4. Marcus Connect will head down to first base.
That's his 3rd walk of the day.
No. So that'll bring Dennis DeBanning to the plate.
So, an interesting little tidbit here, partner. With the Justin Morrow home run earlier, Leafs now as a team have 43 total home runs, and that's one more than Barrie, who's at 42. They were tied for 2nd in the IBL entering today.
Yeah, that is a very Toronto Maple Leaf stat to have. The 1-0.
Do you know the team was in first?
Right now?
Yep.
The most home runs?
Let's see if you get it. Let's see if you can pull it out of the bag.
I'm going to think about it.
Okay. No cheating.
I'm not going to. The 0-2. It's upstairs on DeBanning. It's not Welland.
It is not Welland. I will say that I got the information from Gus Cousins sitting beside me.
Oh, okay. All right, just say it.
It's the Kitchener Panthers. 45.
Also not a bad ballpark to hit home runs out in.
Yeah.
Chatham Kent has also entered the conversation of one of the easier ballparks to hit home runs in, but Christie Pitts is certainly favorable to the hitters as Dennis DeBanning crushes this one foul down the line.
See a bunch of people right behind the fence of DeBanning, and they all jumped up when that ball was hit, hoping that would be fair.
The 3-2. DeBanning hits it to left, and that one's down for a base hit. 2 runners on now for the Leafs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Dennis DeBanning just keeps putting up really good at-bats for the Maple Leafs. And, I mean, it's coming accustomed now where he just looks so comfortable here. It's just clean at-bat after clean at-bat.
Yep, he is locked in. He's also locked into hitting right in the middle of the Leafs lineup, you know, whether it be 4 or 5. And, you know, he's just the perfect guy to have, you know, behind the duo of Castaldo and Connect. Pitches upstairs there on Justin Mara. And, you know, with Dennis DeBanning being so hot, Justin Mara kind of provides him a little bit of lineup protection, too. Mara's driven in 3 runs today. He's got the home run. He's 2 for 2. He's had a great day at the plate. Batting average up to 276 on the season now for Justin Mara. And those numbers just keep looking better and better as the season is going on. The 1-0, way upstairs, 2-0. "51 pitches now for Adam Kahn. He's on the mound for Barrie in this relief appearance. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Mara slashes one into the outfield. That's down for a base hit. They're going to be loaded again here for Toronto. 1 out in the 5th.
That's just back-to-back-to-back great at-bats from this Maple Leafs team. We talk about how good they are 1 through 6, and I mean they're continuing it here.
You know, last year I asked Dan Mara about, you know, what's the thing that you're most proud of about, you know, what you do in the Intercounty Baseball League, and he said just having a professional at-bat. That's something that he really prides himself in, and, you know, whether things are going well or not well for Dan Mara, he always has a professional at-bat.
Always.
That's something that the Maple Leafs and his teammates love about him. This time he chops it foul towards the third baseline.
I mentioned it back in the first inning with the bases loaded and with how wild that Warden was, that, you know, as a pitcher, you hate to see a hitter like Dan Mara come up because it's a guy that just has such a good contact ability where he's going to fight you no matter what you throw. He's going to make it tough, and that's exactly what Mara did back in the first.
The 0-1 pitch fouled off. Yeah, effectively wild doesn't really work when you go up a hitter against like Dan Mara because, you know, you're wild and then you finally make that perfect pitch, but Dan Mara is ready for it. That's the problem. And, you know, even if it's a good pitch, Dan Mara doesn't really care where it is in the strike zone. He's just going to take whatever the pitcher gives him. It's in an 0-2 hole now against Adam Kahn. Could really use a ground ball or a strikeout in this scenario. This time it's a ground ball. The play's at first. Go to second. The tag applied and he's out. Justin Mara, I don't think knew that ball was going to first initially. So he's kind of just sauntering into second base. So it's an unconventional double play for the Barrie Baycats. And I'm just wondering now, did the run come across to score? Because since it was a force play at second base, if the runner Connect at third base came in to score on that play, that run's going to count. Well, they're having a discussion about it right now. Here, I'll make a deal with you. We'll look into it, and we'll be back in about a minute. Well, back here at Dominico Field, and that run is going to come in to score for the Maple Leafs that was in question last inning. So it is 9-0 Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm just working on trying to get you a freeze frame of that play at home plate, but Zach, we're thinking that the Barrie Baycats might have been a little bit unfortunate that that run came in to score.
Yeah, it was, again, it's a bang-bang play, and you saw Marcus Connect hustling it off of the third base line. It's a close play, and you know, Baycats might have not gotten away with one there.
Dylan Oborn, the new pitcher into the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of their newest additions, and the count's 1-1 now on Macabrota. So I'm going to be honest, this isn't the best picture that I could find, but here's the tag being applied out there at second base, and there's the run coming in to score. You can see the foot of Marcus Connect. It's hard to say on that picture, but it was very close. Like, it was almost a tie. Swing and a miss, strike 3, as Macabrota goes down swinging. That's the first strikeout for Dylan Oborn.
That's a good start by Oborn coming into this ball game. You just come in throwing strikes and you get one.
First baseman number 0, Francisco Hernandez.
So Dylan Oborn gets the first out, and now it's Francisco Hernandez who's the first baseman today for Barrie. Dylan Oborn, an ERA of 5.41 on the season. He's pitched a lot since being signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. 3 1/3 innings pitched already, all in relief. Got 6 strikeouts over that stretch of innings as well. One of the new additions for the Barrie Baycats, Jason Roach, is getting loose in the bullpen. Roach, a very young pitcher for Barrie, just 19 years old. The 1-1 pitch just outside from Oborn, and the count's 2-1. Roach was part of a trio of moves that was made right at the deadline by the Barrie Baycats. They also got a couple former Hamilton Cardinals and Ramon Henriquez and Justin Groves. Three and one now on Francisco Hernandez. And it's fouled off. Oborn comes back. He's got to pound the strike zone in this scenario. It's 9-0 Maple Leafs. At this point, you just got to start getting some outs and make sure the Baycats don't have any runway to work with to try and come back in this ball game. So Francisco Hernandez may get a fastball or whatever pitch Oborn is most comfortable with here on the 3-2 pitch. It was a breaking ball and it's hooked foul. It had home run distance, but way foul off to the left. Yeah, that tree right over the light pole there was right about where that ball ended up.
Hey, do you think Oborn's going to throw that breaking ball again?
I think he might go back to the fastball, but he was way out in front.
He was. He was very out in front.
The 3-2. On the ground to third. Dos Santos has it. Throws to first in time. That's the second out. 2 outs in the inning. Dylan Oborn trying to get a clean frame here in the 6th.
I really like the makeup that Oborn has here on the mound. And it's kind of similar to Hernandez, but in the sense of Oborn with his delivery, it's a really slow delivery, and then once his front foot lands, he's really fast with his arm through the plane. You can kind of see it here. He has a slow upbringing, and then he explodes right out of his pitch. And that's what, it adds a little bit. And like that, the ball just jumps on you as a hitter, and it's hard to read sometimes.
The thing that jumps out about me from seeing that delivery is how balanced he is on the mound. Got the big high leg kick. He comes from a very balanced position, though. I think, if If you asked him to kind of hold that position when he lifts his leg, I'll bet you he could stand there for a really long time on the mound.
Yeah, and it's all balance and just, you know, the core. You work on it so much as a pitcher.
It's a big swing from Hull there, and the count's 2-1. That one way inside. 3-1 now. Dylan Oborn has found himself in this situation before in this inning. Trying to get himself out of this 3-1 count once again.
Yeah, he's looking really strong, and I'm liking the pitch mix that he's using here. Get the foul back there.
Dos Santos gave it a look towards the third baseline, but that one bounces out of play.
And we've always kind of asked ourselves, you know, when's the pitching, the defense going to catch up with the hitting for the Maple Leafs? It looks like it has here tonight. And this is probably the best product we've seen the Leafs put out in the last little bit, because it always seems like something in the machine was missing. Something was misfiring every game. And right now, it's a complete team effort.
The 3-2, fouled off once again. Yeah, that's a good point. And when the Maple Leafs are not playing well, a lot of the times, not necessarily because of the defense, but the defense ends up playing poorly as well. It's kind of a sign whether you can tell whether the Leafs are playing well. If they're playing good defense, you know they're feeling good in the locker room.
Oh, yeah. When the defense is looking very smooth, that's when you know the Leafs are usually at their best. The offense, there's never really been a point this season where we've been worried about the offense.
This one's 2 or 3 hopper that bounces up the middle. Noah Hull has himself a base hit. And a runner on here with 2 outs in the 6th for Barrie. Well, this is the part of the order that Dylan Oborn has to attack. Clayton Keys and Magne and Wicket on deck here for Barrie, but Oborn definitely hoping that it doesn't get that far, and he can get Clayton Keys right here. First pitch misses low.
That's just a good layoff by Keys. It's a great breaking ball in the inner half where usually a right-handed batter would be biting at that because how quickly it's dipping down.
Keys has a big swing at that pitch, but fouls it straight back. Well, the wind direction has changed. Now it's blowing straight out to center field.
What made you feel that? The wind that smoked us in the back there?
Yeah, and we're feeling it before the players are, right? Because we're way up here on the hill. The 1-1 pitch just outside. And what's interesting about that is that the wind that we're feeling up here, you know, we're about level with the top of the backstop, maybe a little bit higher on the top of the backstop. The players in the field aren't feeling that because there's this big hill behind home plate that's a shadow from the wind. So the 2-1 pitch is in the dirt. This one's going to roll to the backstop. Runner in scoring position now for the Baycats.
Yeah, the players won't feel it, but if you're able to elevate the ball into the jet stream, that ball will definitely carry.
Yeah. Yeah, but the big thing about that is that you might not be expecting the ball to carry as a hitter because you're down there. There's probably no wind down there on the field. Then the ball gets up in the air, and all of a sudden it's getting blown out towards center. Could be tricky on a high pop-up. The 3-1 pitch misses low. Dylan Oborn got the first 2 hitters in order. Now gives up a base hit and a walk. The Baycats have just a little bit of life here in the 6th.
And it just looks like a couple of the pitches here just a little bit overthrown from Oborn, where he's looking comfortable, but then, you know, the breaking ball is just missing out of the zone a couple times, and it's small stuff that you can definitely clean up here. And Oborn understands that, and I'm sure a player like him, he'll make those adjustments.
Josh Magne is 0 for 2 today. He's at the dish, but before that we get a mound visit from Brian Sewell.
I guess you can call it a Brian visit. Get a lower third of that, a Brian visit.
Brian visits don't usually end up in pitching changes.
Exactly, so it's just a Brian visit. Goes out there, hey, how are you doing? You good? Everything good here?
I'll bet you that kind of was the conversation.
Hey,
he's a very chill dude.
Oh yeah, I mean the message usually with the first meeting out there is just, you know, calm him down, make him forget about what's going on, give him a break, ask him, you know, you just distract him. How you doing? how's life been? What'd you do today?
Brian Sewell has been a player in the Intercounty Baseball League as well. In fact, he was rostered for one day on this Toronto Maple Leafs team.
He was.
They were short guys, and then he got dropped for Damon Topley, who is now a Guelph Royal, as we learned at the trade deadline.
Hey, there's a lot of players that don't have a prestigious career like Damon Topley that you could have been dropped for. So take that with that grain of salt right there.
Absolutely. The 1-1 pitch misses outside. Yeah, the Guelph Royals made some moves for, some good younger pitchers, and they also got some veterans in Damon Topley and Nick Burdett, the former manager of the Brantford Red Sox. This ball is fouled off to the left. They got the former Toronto Maple Leafs manager and the former Brantford Red Sox manager.
Oh my Lord, there's a swarm. Everybody, and I mean everybody, wanted that baseball.
The 2-2. Way inside. Oh, I don't know how Magne got out of the way of that one. It looked like it went right under his elbow, but he was able to twist out of the way, and now he counts 3-2.
Yeah, it looked like Oborn just hooked it a little bit, overthrew it.
Strike 3 called. Oborn paints the inside corner, gets Magne looking, and also gets out of the 6th inning. Maple Leafs still kept the Baycats scoreless through 6. And Toronto Maple Leafs only have one scoreless inning in the game. That's why it's 9-0 Leafs here at Christie Pitts. So the Barrie Baycats are going to get a look at one of their trade deadline acquisitions here in Jason Roach. These are some of the other guys that they picked up. Ramon Henriquez, who was a pitcher earlier on in the season for the Hamilton Cardinal, and Justin Groves, who, Zach, you think might have some offensive upside for this team in Barrie.
Yeah, again, obviously I've had the privilege to call the Humber Hawks in the OCAA, and Justin Groves a Humber Hawk. And he was an MVP player. He was, well, I'm not an MVP player. He was the MVP for the OCAA. And the only thing that he wasn't able to achieve was getting that Triple Crown. And the reason is his teammate was the one that hit more home runs that season. I think Justin hit 4, his teammate hit 5. But, I mean, he has been a sensational player. He's a really great team player. I got to talk to him and get to know him a lot during the Humber Hawks season. And he's just a guy that loves baseball. He's a guy that just wants to come out and play every single day. And he's just a really nice dude to talk to.
Yeah, I made the first team All-Star team in the OCAA. And is, I guess, the second and third year in the league in 23 and 24. So we've seen lots of good players come out of that Humber Hawks organization, too. You can think of a pretty significant Toronto Maple Leaf, and Justin Morrow came through that organization as well.
His number's retired at Humber now, Justin Morrow, but also another big guy in Dennis DeBanning, who holds the program record in RBIs and home runs.
And you can see how well they're doing now in the Intercounty Baseball League. So, it should be interesting to see how these guys play in the Intercounty Baseball League. Jason Roach, obviously a bit younger than the two we mentioned. He's on the mound now, and the first pitch to Spencer Ross misses.
Well then, you know, OCAA, it's, you know, the baseball might not be as good as OUA or some of the schools in the States, but it's a good brand of baseball. It has a lot of young guys that are hungry to get out on the diamond.
The 1-0 pitch misses low to Spencer Ross.
And it's funny, a lot of the guys that play from Humber usually end up going towards the Hamilton Cardinals junior team. A lot of them were there this season.
Here's the 2-0. Jason Roach pitched in one game earlier in the season for the Barrie Baycats and didn't give up a run in an inning against the Kitchener Panthers, but that was nearly 2 months ago now. Here's the 2-1 to Ross. Another strike at the knees, and the count's 2-2. Barrie Baycats have the benefit of having a really strong U22 program. Lots of players from the junior Baycats end up, you know, finding their way to the IBL at some point or another. Here's the 2-2. And it just misses. Tell Roach wanted that one.
I was just going to add on to your point that the junior program for a lot of these teams, it's really good. I mean, the brand of baseball that gets played in the junior league, it's a really good one, and a lot of players have come from that league up until the main rosters here, and they've made good impacts.
Here's the 3-2. Strike 3 called. Roach gets a punch out of Ross, and that's the first out. You know, it's really important for all of these Intercounty Baseball League teams that are not the Toronto Maple Leafs to have those junior programs. Like in Toronto, it's not really that important because every baseball team that's anything usually plays out of this Toronto area, so they get the benefit of having just a lot of local players.
Well, then you can also just go 15, 20 minutes to Mississauga, and you have the North Tigers, the Twins, the Majors.
Exactly.
You have all those teams around there, and if they want to reach even more, they can go to Oakville, which has usually I believe it's the Ontario Royals out of Oakville.
0-1 now on Boscarino. He hits one on the ground to Wickett at second base, drops it, now picks it back up and throws out Boscarino. That's the second out. Good start for Jason Roach in his second outing of the year with the Baycats. Back to the top of the order, and Ryan Dos Santos. So Gus actually just fed us another good stat there. So in Roach's first outing of the season back on June 1st, he struck out the side, got a strikeout of Spencer Ross in his first at-bat. He had a streak of 4 consecutive strikeouts going, dating back to his outing earlier on in the season, which, you know, obviously a small sample size, and it's just fun to fire out that stat, but it kind of shows that hitters are not picking up what Roach is dishing out early on in his IBL career.
Good lively arm, and I mean, we're seeing that here.
The 2-0. Dos Santos fouls it back onto the hill. There's so many people that end up picking up a foul ball because we're in a public park here, so lots of people are sitting down to watch the game. There's also lots of people that are just passing through to get from A to B, and they are so happy when they end up picking up a baseball. As Dos Santos gets into this one, he drills it to left. That one's going to two-hop off the wall. Ryan Dos Santos will cruise into second, and he's got himself a double.
Now it's got to feel good. He started the game off a little bit rocky, 3 straight strikeouts, but then he comes back, he gets that walk, and right there puts a good swing on a ball where he inside outs the ball beautifully. It's a low inside off-speed pitch that he's able to just get the hands to and drive it to left center field.
Designated hitter number 77,
John Javier, who's already driven in 2 runs today, comes to the plate. He's got a chance to drive in another with Dos Santos out there. Roach will step off and get another sign. And actually, yeah, I was thinking, you know, they might not have accounted for this situation, having a runner at second base, having to, you know, mix up the signs a little bit. Not that in a 9-0 game, Ryan Dos Santos would be relaying signs to the catcher. I don't think that would happen, but it's always best practice to.
What do you mean? He's talking to the second base right now. Say, come on, man.
Yeah, you think so?
No.
Relay the sign right away?
Not at all.
And with that, Chris Nagorski warming up in the bullpen for the Baycats.
I thought Chris Nagorski was on the mound.
Yeah.
No, just the jerseys.
Yeah, it's the jersey number. Nagorski's not jersey number. Roach is wearing.
He's wearing 48 tonight.
That's okay. Here's the 1-0. Big swing from Javier. He was guessing fastball, and he didn't get one. This will be a nice moment for Chris Nagorski if he comes into this ball game as well. Was a legend with the Barrie Baycats through, 5 championships with Barrie. They came to the Toronto Maple Leafs, helped this team out to get to 2 straight finals in 21 and 22, and now has found a home once again back in Barrie, where he had all that success.
Like I said, it's just a nice little homecoming for him.
Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss by Javier, and the count's 2-2. Yeah, I wanted to go over and say hello to Chris Nagorski, but I think the Barrie Baycats showed up pretty late today to the ballpark. There's no one here for batting practice. There was a few players that just kind of live locally in the area that came, but Barrie Baycats bus didn't get here until.
Hey man, the Highway 400, it's a tough one to drive during the day.
Yeah.
It is not fun. I do that drive usually Sundays and Mondays now.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
A 2-2, and it hits Javier. Oh, right on the hands. Not what you want to see in a game like this from one of your stars. Although, oh, you know what? Did it hit the elbow guard or the hand? What do you think?
I can tell you in about 3 seconds here.
Yeah, that's the elbow guard.
I hit it right above the elbow. The elbow guard, yeah. Oh, he feels it.
Yeah,
yep.
but it's above the elbow
right
guard a
above the
little
elbow
bit.
guard.
Didn't quite get all of the elbow guard.
You see the trainer put the hand on immediately. He goes,
Yeah, Pedro will get them all fixed up. 2 on here for Castaldo.
First baseman number 5.
Jordan Castaldo is 6 RBIs away from second all time. How about another Jordan Castaldo accolade this season, eh? Yeah, there you go. You got the 100 home runs, the 500 RBIs, moving up the leaderboard into 3rd place all time in RBIs.
How far back again? What's the number total? What was coming into today?
He had 509 coming into today. 517 is where Kevin Hinton is at in 2nd place. As Castaldo takes in the dirt, and that one rolls away.
So he's 5'11" currently now in the year.
Yeah. So Jordan Castaldo is talking with the home plate umpire right now. The pitch was called a strike. I guess they're going to say Jordan Castaldo went around. So the count's 0-1. 27 RBIs now on the season for Castaldo. The 0-1 pitch.
You know, this is where things can get interesting for Castaldo. 2 runners in scoring position here, an opportunity. I mean, this game, it's a big one right now, but it's a great opportunity for Castaldo.
Castaldo swings and misses at this one, and now there's 2 strikes on him. The 1-2 upstairs. Two in scoring position for Castaldo. And it's way inside. It goes to the backstop, but Ryan Dos Santos is going to hold his position at third. Might have been able to come in to score, but with the score the way it is, he'll stay at third base.
And Castaldo has worked himself into another really good count, 3-2 here.
Alex Karabian getting loose in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. The 3-2. Castaldo hits one on the ground to first base, gobbled up by Hernandez, and that'll end the inning. Toronto Maple Leafs lead 9-0 over Barrie as we head to the 7th. It's a look there at Spencer McInnes, who is coming to the game for Marcus Connect in right field. Got lots of changes as well out there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mike Cecchetto is playing first base. Kaleo Shaw has gone out to the field in center. Zach Lamprey is now the shortstop as well. Now it's Alex Wickett at the plate facing Dylan Oborn. Dylan Oborn is 31 pitches into this outing. Barrie Baycats were able to tack on a few runners on base in the 6th to kind of make Oborn throw, I guess more than double the pitches that he had in the first 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. That one's upstairs. The count now 2-2.
Yeah, he battled, and those 2 batters in the last half inning really gave him some trouble, but then he got Magne to look.
Landon Leach getting loose in the bullpen for the Leafs as the count's now 3-2 on wicket. Between Franklin Hernandez and Dylan Oborn, Leafs have only allowed 4 hits against the Baycats today and kept them scoreless. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Oborn gets wicket.
It's another really good pitch from Oborn. He has just looked so locked in here in this relief appearance. And again, it's that delivery. He goes slow with the leg kick, and then he just explodes when his foot hits the dirt.
This will be the biggest test of his outing so far as he faces Noel McGarry Doyle and Brandon Hernandez. First, McGarry Doyle at the dish, who's 1 for 1 with a walk. Noel McGarry Doyle has one of the 4 hits for the Baycats today. It was a double to lead off the ball game. And you know what, Zach? That ball almost left the yard, too, by Noel McGarry Doyle to start the ball game. Very first pitch, he hit it off the top of the wall. And, you know, I don't know how much of a believer you are in momentum in baseball, but, you know, if Noel McGarry Doyle takes the first pitch out of the yard, you know, maybe that's going to hurt the confidence a little bit of Hernandez. Instead, he says, okay, I'll take that break. It didn't go out of the yard. And what does he do? He gets the next 3 in order and leads to a fantastic outing by Franklin Hernandez.
Yeah, and I mean, thank you to the Maple Leafs for renovating that fence 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, again, I kept that one in, but big believer in momentum. And, I mean, when momentum can shift like that, it says a lot.
The 1-2 pitch misses outside. You know, between some of the former and current Maple Leafs power hitters, think about the Justin Mars, the Jordan Castaldos last year, John Salazzo. You know, that big wall has taken away quite a few homers from some of those vets. As there's another strikeout for Dylan Oborn. Gets the first 2 in the inning, and that was a pretty good one there, getting Noel McGarry Doyle.
Yeah, you get a really big bat in Noel McGarry Doyle right there, and I mean, he's looked locked in here on the mound.
So Dylan Oborn has 4 strikeouts over an inning and a third today. Pitch up and in to Brandon Hernandez. Two and 0 now. Brandon Hernandez cues one foul off the end of his bat. Hernandez is 1 for 3 today, hitting .263 on the season. The 2-1. Chopped on the ground towards first, foul. Mike Cecchetto, the new first baseman over there for the Maple Leafs.
Baycat faithful, they're still making noise here in this one. They travel in bunches.
Mike Cecchetto, also a former Baycat over there at first. I think this is the first game that Mike Cecchetto is playing in the field after coming back from injury. He's been DHing quite a bit for Toronto. You know, I talked to Mike Cecchetto. He says he doesn't really care whether he's in the lineup or not. He just wants to come in and contribute in some way to this Maple Leafs team. And you know, if he can play a little bit of first base as well as DH, that's going to really help his contributions and being in the lineup for Toronto. As Dylan Oborn gets the strikeout, And how about that, Zach? He strikes out the side in the top of the 7th inning, deep into the pitch count. And snuffing out the Barrie Baycats, who are down to their final 6 outs. But first, the Maple Leafs have got some bats coming up. Well, a familiar face makes his way to the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Chris Nagorski is into the game, and he'll face Spencer McInnes, who's going to get his first at-bat.
Yeah, all the substitutions that came in will be McInnes and then Kaleo Shaw.
Chris Nagorski has had a nice stretch of 3 consecutive scoreless outings. His first 2 with his new/old team in the Barrie Baycats have gone quite well. Last pitched in the Baycats' last game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, kind of bridged the gap to the late inning guys in that game. Came up with a scoreless inning, only had to face 4 batters.
You know, Nagorski back here at Dominico Fields, and you can kind of faintly hear it over there. Well, I say faintly, but you can definitely hear it over there. The Bushmen are giving it back to Nags. First thing I heard after that first pitch was, Nags got to throw a strike. They're great. They are phenomenal.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1. This one's fouled back. Here's the 1-2. A pitch in the dirt from Nagorski. Spencer McInnes hitting .205 on the season. He's 7 for 34. Here's the 2-2 from Nagorski. And he got him. Chris Nagorski gets the fastball at the top of the zone, and that's the first out of the inning.
Center fielder number 15, Kaleo Shaw.
Kaleo Shaw gets his first at-bat for the Maple Leafs. Tristan Clark has also come into the game in left field for the Baycats. First pitch to Shaw is a strike. Kaleo asks for time. Yeah, it's the elbow guard again for Kaleo Shaw. He's still got to get that new Velcro.
Every time.
Yeah, I know. Here's the 0-1. Pitch is a strike at the knees. Shaw didn't like it.
Let's see here. He's adjusted. Nope, the Velcro stayed.
Yeah, the hand guard, I should say. So, I was watching him in a game in Hamilton, and it was like falling off, and he still ripped a single into the outfield. This time he swings over the top of Nagorski breaking ball, and Chris Nagorski has struck out the first 2 Leafs in his return to Toronto. So this will be a matchup that we weren't sure we were going to see again in the Intercounty Baseball League. Obviously, Justin Morrow would have faced Chris Nagorski and when Nagorski was with the Barrie Baycats, and Justin Morrow was breaking into the league back in 2017. As Mara checks his swing and takes a strike. But you could see Chris Nagorski had a big smile on his face, facing his old battery mate in Justin Mara. The 0-1. Mara fouls it off, and the count's 0-2.
Yeah, this is always going to be a fun matchup because this is a former battery.
Yeah.
A lot of times we saw Nagorski throwing Amara behind the plate, and again, it's interesting because you wonder, hey, does he know what I'm going to throw? He knows my arsenal pretty well.
Hey, there's no one who knows Chris Nagorski better than Justin Mara. But Nagorski's up 0-2 and then misses way outside with the breaking ball.
Landon Leach is still over there throwing in the Maple Leafs bullpen. Wonder if Oborn gets one more, then they give Leach the 9th.
Yeah, the pitch count was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's around 50 for Dylan Oborn, which is quite a bit through 2 innings. The 1-2 pitch, just outside. Yeah, there's actually a little bit more in play when these games are kind of blowout games like they are right now, because some guys also got to get their innings in for the playoffs. Here's the 2-2 to Justin Mara. And it's just outside. Landon Leach would be one of those guys. He needs some innings to get into the playoffs. You need 5 appearances and 10 innings pitched if you're a pitcher trying to qualify for the playoffs to have a roster spot. For batters, you just need 24 plate appearances on the season. Mara skies this one in the air towards right center field, and it's off the wall. Justin Mara cruises into second base, and he's hit a double off his former battery mate, Chris Nagorski.
Yeah, and there's probably a big smile across the face of Mara because he knows I've caught everything you've thrown. I know what you're going to throw to me. And he did just that. He hits it high off that right center field wall.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. So Chris Nagorski's probably shouting back at him saying that was just a fly ball, Justin. Justin's shouting back at him saying.
He's nodding his head saying, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Justin's saying, if that big wall wasn't out there, I would have taken your yard. So it goes both ways. Here's Dan Mara, another guy that Nagorski and will know quite well, playing together for many years. That pitch is inside.
It's always fun when you have former teammates playing against one another.
Now Chris Nagorski is going to want to lock down and try and get Dan Mara out because he's trying to keep his scoreless inning or scoreless outing streak alive.
Nagorski steps off. He's threatened by the speed of Justin Mara.
Yeah, they're having fun out there.
They're having a blast.
Here's the 1-0 to Dan. And it's inside. 2-0 now. This one's hit on the ground to the shortstop, Hernandez. And Brandon Hernandez throws out Dan Mara. So Chris Nagorski does come up with another scoreless inning, this time against his former team, but it's the Maple Leafs who lead 9-0 over Barrie. This is the schedule coming up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. In a couple days' time, they'll play the London Majors, 2 against them, and then the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers out there on a little road trip to London, and then a little further down the road on August 3rd playing Chatham-Kent. Nice little 3-game and 3-day stretch. Never easy to play the London Majors. They're a really good team this season, but the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers might be the team that's the hardest team to play because it is a long way to get to Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, and you got to make sure you have enough guys, and that's always the hardest part is make sure you have enough guys willing to make that long trek over to Chatham-Kent.
Landon Leach is into the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we've talked about some of the guys that need to get their innings right now for Toronto. Dylan Oborn, who went a couple innings, he's now at 5 1/3, so it's more than halfway to hitting the requirement. He's got 3 outings, 5 1/3 innings. Landon Leach, who's coming into the game now for the Maple Leafs, is going to need a little bit more. And, you know, if he could come in and get the 8th and 9th here for Toronto, that would give him 3 innings on the season. But, you know, what are there, 9 games left for the Maple Leafs this season?
Yeah, so we're probably going to be seeing a lot of Landon Leach over the next little bit. And it's just to give him some more action, give him some more innings. Then obviously, you know, just make sure he's playoff eligible. And this is interesting. Tristan Clark is coming into the game.
Yeah, he came into the game defensively to play left field. So now he's going to get his first at bat. As Clark takes up and away. The 0-2 way upstairs. Clark ducks out of the way. Three 3-0 the count now. And it hit him on the 3-0 pitch. Tristan Clark is hit, and you know he wasn't very happy about that too. Right away he kind of put up his hands, looked back towards Justin Marr, the catcher, and he'll take his base. So, like, the thing is with that is, you know, there was actually some fireworks when the Barrie Baycats were here. I don't know, would have been a month or 2 ago now. what was it, Tristan Clark on a home run or something. I forget exactly what it was, but there was some fireworks between Clark and the Leafs. But the whole getting innings thing, that kind of snuffs out whether or not that 3-0 pitch was intentional, because Landon Leach needs to pitch 2 innings here for Toronto.
And this is a fun one for me. Justin Groves comes in for the pinch hit, his first at-bat here.
Here's the 0-1. Up and away.
Yeah, he's a guy that stays in his legs a lot, and when all of his power usually just comes when he's able to explode out of, his batting stance. Saw it a lot with the Humber Hawks, and Barrie, they got themselves a good young player to work with here.
Groves takes low. Had a hit in 13 at-bats over 8 games with the Hamilton Cardinals this season. The 1-1. Just inside.
And again, he's familiar playing here at this diamond. Humber playing George Brown a number of times in the regular season. I believe he has a home run here as well, clearing the left field fence.
That one's upstairs, ball 4, so 2 on base here for the Baycats.
First baseman number 0, Francisco Hernandez.
Francisco Hernandez takes a strike. Yeah, Landon Leach just needs to fill up the strike zone here. Maple Leafs up by 9 as Hernandez fouls it off, and that's the way to do it. The count's 0-2. Clark at second, Groves at first. The 0-2 pitch, fouled off again by Hernandez. The 0-2. Down and away. 1 ball now on Hernandez after Landon Leach came back and started pounding the strike zone early in the at-bat. Two and two now. Turning into a pretty good at-bat from 0-2 for Francisco Hernandez, hitting .320 on the season for the Baycats. Inside. 3 straight balls by Landon Leach after Francisco Hernandez fouled off a couple tough 0-2 pitches. Deep into this at-bat now. And it hit him. Francisco Hernandez takes a couple steps towards Leach. Now he's talking to Justin Mara. Nothing out of Landon Leach there on the mound.
Yeah, not really sure why Hernandez would want to be even talking to Leach. Obviously, you know, yes, there have been fireworks between these two teams, but in a sense, it's a 9-0 game. You know, obviously, Landon Leach, he's out here because he wants to get his innings. He wants to be qualified for the playoffs, and you know, you already have 2 on and no outs. What's the point? What would be the point of intentionally throwing at someone?
Pinch hitter is Austin Boylan, one of the junior players for the Baycats. Boylan slashes one up the middle. That's a base hit. The Baycats are going to get their first run of the ball game as Tristan Clark comes in to score, and it's 9-1.
Yeah, they just go station to station here with the bases loaded still.
All an 8-run ball game here in the 8th. Nobody out, bases loaded. If you're going to do it, this is how it would start.
Right fielder number 43, Clayton Keys.
Next up is Clayton Keys. Can he keep the line moving? Keys takes a strike. The 0-1. Another strike from Leach. He's out in front 0-2.
Yeah, that's back-to-back good pitches there for Leach, you know. A couple batters here not going the way you want, but just dial back in here. Again, you still have a good lead.
The 0-2 pitch, strike 3 called. It's a big comeback pitch there from Landon Leach and a huge first out of the inning.
Catcher number 36.
Leach will now get the catcher, Josh Magne. Magne came into today, only had 3 at-bats. He's doubled that total today. Takes the first pitch just outside. Magne's 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts.
He grounded out to second base his first at-bat, and then, like you said, back-to-back strikeouts. That was in this 5th and 6th.
I mean, a hit here from Magne. You know, they need a couple to kind of bring this thing close, but Willie Garcia, Nolan Macabroda, and Noah Hull are all out of the game for the Baycats. So those are some big bats that are not in the lineup anymore. So that pitch is up and away. 3-0 the count now on Magne. Alex Wickett on deck. He's 0 for 3 with a trio of strikeouts. Gotta find the strike zone here against the catcher. He does not. That pitch is in the dirt. That's going to bring across another run. It's 9-2. Well, Landon Leach has, you know, been a guy that the Maple Leafs know has really good stuff, but control has been kind of the X factor for Landon Leach, and he's had a bit of trouble finding the zone here in this outing. This is the number 9 hitter in Wickett. Even though Alex Wickett has struck out 3 times today, he's still been really good when called upon for the Baycats.
Yeah, things can get very, very dangerous.
The 1-0. Wickett takes way outside.
That's just another arm-high fastball.
6 straight balls now from Landon Leach as Greg Carrington continues to get loose in the bullpen. Another guy, the Maple Leafs that needs to get some innings. As Leach finds the strike zone, but if he comes in to this ball game, Greg Carrington might be coming into a situation that's a lot more than just getting innings. Maple Leafs might need him to get out of this top of the 8th. See if Landon Leach can find another comeback pitch here against Wickett. Not quite. 3-1 now. Nowhere to put Wickett. A run has already come across via a walk for the Baycats in the inning, and Wickett fouls it off. Boy, Alex Wickett went down and got a pitch right at the bottom of the zone there from Landon Leach, and the count's 3-2.
He got a good piece of it. He was just a little bit late, and that's what made it foul off to the side.
The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Another run comes in for the Baycats, and it's 9-3. And all of a sudden, the tying run is in the on-deck circle for Barrie.
Yeah, it looks like Rob Butler's going to come out, and we're going to make a pitching change here.
So this will probably be the call to bullpen, yeah, for Greg Carrington. He's coming into the game, and we will resume when we come back. That is Greg Carrington on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs to try and get out of this 8th inning jam.
Well, it's a tough task. You have the top of the order here.
Yeah, I also miscalculated. The tying run is actually still in the dugout for the Barrie Baycats, but they're in the hole. Needless to say, this is not a situation that we thought we were going to be in when this was a 9-0 ball game. Now a 6-run game, but opportunity on the base path right now for the Baycats. Carrington delivers a strike swinging on McGarry Doyle, and the count's 1-1.
Yeah, this is a big-time part of the order here in Carrington. They call upon him.
The 1-1. This one's drilled into the outfield, high, deep, and off the wall. Noel McGarry Doyle is going to have his second double of the day. 2 runs come in to score, and it's 9-5.
I said it, it's the top of the order. It's a tough one. And I mean, Noel McGarry Doyle, he's been hitting the ball hard really all day long. He does it just there once again, a 2 RBI double.
A 4-run ball game in the top of the 8th inning. Luis Florentino is starting to get loose for the Maple Leafs now in the pen. And now the tying run is in the on-deck circle. A 4-run ball game here at the pits. Not in the on-deck circle yet, but he will be very soon. It's Tristan Clark who's come into this game, and now this one is flared towards left. This is dropping, it falls. Zach Lamprey picks it up, a run comes in to score, and it's 9-6. A 5-run inning for the Barrie, or 6-run inning for the Barrie Baycats here in the 8th. And this thing just got interesting at Christie Pitts.
And this is the team that it's the never say die attitude. And, you know, the tough thing is here is the Maple Leafs, they've taken out a couple of their key players. Marcus Connect is out of this game. Dennis DeBanning is out of this game. Jordan Castaldo is out of this game. But it also, on the other side of things, you know, there's a couple key guys out for the side of Barrie as well, which is kind of shocking when you think about it. Willie Garcia, Macabroda, and Hall.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple ways to think about it. This one would have been Willie Garcia's spot. He's being replaced by Tristan Clark. That's all right. That's one of the better players on the Barrie Baycats anyway. Tristan Clark's hitting .328 on the season. And then, you know, Groves is a guy who's coming up behind him. He replaced Nolan Macabroda. Obviously, you know Nolan Macabroda is a great hitter. They're still waiting to see what they're going to get from Justin Groves. Walked in his only at bat so far. And then if you look further down the order, Austin Boylan replaced Noah Hull. So, you know, certainly some big bats not in the lineup right now for the Maple Leafs, but this is not one of those scenarios with Tristan Clark at the dish. Clark takes low. The 1-0 pitch. Way inside, and did it hit him? No, I think it was just inside. It was close, though. Tristan Clark had to jump out of the way.
He was hit by a pitch to start this inning, and he did not take too kindly to it.
Carrington's 2-0. Way outside. The 3-0 pitch in the dirt. Ball 4. Bases loaded again for the Baycats. Yeah, and Rob Butler's already out of the dugout. I think he's going to make the move to Luis Florentino right here.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this is going to be a save opportunity for Luis Florentino, assuming that he's being tasked with finishing out this ball game. There's 1 out. Luis Florentino coming in, trying to get the 5-out save in a sticky situation for the Leafs. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs forced to go to one of their big guns here in Luis Florentino. And he has a task to do here, a 3-run ball game, bases loaded. And Groves is the first batter he faces, and that's what Rob Butler wants to see, a hard first pitch strike.
Well, this was Groves' numbers in OCAA action. He had that .472 batting average, 23 RBIs in 18 games.
Now he hits a tapper towards home. Florentino has a glove flip to Mara, and they get the out at home. Nice little play there by Luis Florentino, and there's 2 outs, and a run does not come in to score.
Hey, you know what they say? Pitchers are athletes too, and Florentino just displayed that perfectly.
He got off the mound quickly, but you know what I like there? Justin Mara stayed at home plate. He didn't go out and try and field that baseball, or it could have been a mess at home plate. Mara communicated beautifully with Luis Florentino to make that happen.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to see out of the battery mate. Just talk to one another, be vocal about what's going on, and that's what Mara does. He's a veteran behind that plate.
Here's Francisco Hernandez. And Francisco Hernandez, you know, he's a big bat in the lineup, but after that, they've got a guy they subbed in Austin Boylan, who's only had 17 at-bats this season. The 0-1 fouled off. Not to say that there's anywhere to put Hernandez. The game plan, no matter what, is to get Francisco Hernandez out and then cross that bridge when we get there. But Francisco Hernandez has to be thinking, man, this is his time that he needs to come up and get a big hit. Florentino ahead in the count, 0-2. And he got him! Luis Florentino comes in and does exactly what he was asked to do, and he caps it off with a strikeout. A 3-run ball game. Maple Leafs looking for some insurance as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Well, the Barrie Baycats have a wildly successful top of the 8th inning. They bring it to a 3-run ball game. Now, Ramon Henriquez, one of the new additions on the Baycats, comes into the game. We're going to see all 3 deadline acquisitions now with Henriquez coming to the game. He'll face Zach Lamprey to lead things off. And Henriquez delivers high. Henriquez along with Justin Groves, former Hamilton Cardinals, coming over here to the Barrie Baycats. The 0-1 to Lamprey. This one's fouled off.
And this is really interesting watching
Yeah.
him pitch because he is all the way on the third base side. I think his heel is the only thing touching the rubber right now. And, you know, that's interesting. A lot of pitchers, normally they'll set up, if they're a righty, they'll set up first base side. They don't normally set up this far over.
It is jarring to watch him standing on the mound right now. He is, he's almost on the downslope of the mound. Like, I think you're right. I think it's just his heel that's touching the rubber.
And there's nothing against it. There's no rule saying that you can't have just your heel or saying that your toe has to be touching the mound. As long as your foot has contact, you can stand wherever. And it is lethal to right-handed hitters because it starts right at you and it tails across into the zone.
Yeah, this is not a fun at-bat for Zach Lamprey. He might have to step back in the box a little bit here just to, he's pitching it from third base. This is really interesting. 2-2 the count now. Strike 3 called. He whipped across the face of the plate, and speaking of whipping the ball, Magne just absolutely uncorked that one down to third base, and it wasn't close to anybody as it rolls into the outfield. He looked down right away. He was like, oh, shoot. I think it just slipped out of his hand. But it was like between short and third, that throw down.
Sometimes you just get so amped up in the moment, and that's probably what happened right there.
So now it's Luca Boscarino at the plate.
So I'm curious to see how he pitches to the lefty Dos Santos on deck, if he possibly moves, because
yeah,
as a lefty, it's easier to pick up when it's coming into your plane.
Yeah, if he stays on that side of the mound, I'm Ryan Dos Santos on deck. I'm licking my chops because that's gonna be a really nice at bat.
But this is so interesting.
This is also not a fun at bat though for the righty Luca Boscarino. The 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Again, you think of lefties and how hard it is with some of those side-winding lefties. You think of Tim Hill in the MLB,
yeah,
Chris Sale, just Garrett Crochet. It's just they come across and the ball starts basically behind you, and it's finishing over the middle of the plate. And Henrique right now is just doing the same thing.
The 1-1. Boscarino takes in the dirt. And Ramon Henriquez pitched in 12 innings for the Hamilton Cardinals this season. A lot of strikeouts over those innings, but an ERA of 6.75.
I can see why there's a lot of strikeouts. Curious to see the breakdown between lefties and righties.
Here's the 2-1. This one's hit in the air by Luca Boscarino, and he has got into this one, but it just doesn't quite have enough. Gary Doyle makes the catch in center.
He pulls that ball a little bit to left field, and that's probably scraping over the wall, but what power flex out of Luca Boscarino.
So I guess things just didn't work out with the Hamilton Cardinals this season and Ramon Henriquez, but the Barrie Baycats will be happy to have this guy in their lineup. He's an interesting pitcher. He's got a fastball that sits around 96 miles an hour, but the big one is the slider, which I think is why he stands so far on that side of the plate. It has an average spin rate of 2,550 rounds per minute, which is an insane rate. We've talked a lot about Ayami Sato's fastball and how, or her curveball, and how it spins more than the average MLB curveball. Ramon Henriquez is even more than that. This is way above average spin rate, and this is on a slider. The 0-1. Dos Santos takes a strike at the knees.
That's just a tough combo. He fed the first pitch slider to Dos Santos that missed, and then he came back with that high-octane fastball.
The 0-2 to Dos Santos. And he swings and misses, strike 3. Ramon, or that was strike 2, sorry.
First pitch was a ball, and then it's gone back-to-back strikes.
Okay.
He missed with the slider inside.
Counts 1-2 now. Santos with a good take, and it's 2-2. Antonio Spencer Thompson has also came into the game. He's now playing in right field. The 2-2 to Dos Santos. And he lines it into the outfield for a base hit. Ryan Dos Santos will hold up at first base as he has a sharp hit single.
And that's what I said, you know, as a pitcher on the mound, when you face a lefty like that, you're pitching everything into the zone because you're so far to one side of the plate and of the mound. A lefty, you're licking your chops when you see that. The pitch is coming into your hands, and Dos Santos just displays it perfectly right there.
Yeah, it's a whole lot better than a strikeout, isn't it? So Ryan Dos Santos has a couple hits today. Now Connor Lewis gets an at-bat here. Dos Santos goes. Lewis smashes into the outfield for a base hit. Ryan Dos Santos heading for third, and he's in there. And it skips away, and Ryan Dos Santos is on his way home, and he scores. Connor Lewis up to second. Oh, Dos Santos making it happen on the base path, and that's a big insurance run for the Maple Leafs. That's 10-6.
And I don't know if you saw it. He rounded second. He took a wide turn, and the throw, it actually came directly behind where he slid. Now, that's nothing to do with him because he's just trying to get to the bag safely. The throw, though, comes right back, hits him in the back, bounces around, and he takes off because he has great speed going home. That's really, really good base running out of number 8.
I think that Ryan Dos Santos was always going to be safe. He had a great jump. He was already at second by the time the ball was hit. With 2 outs, he doesn't have to worry about the ball getting caught or not. Probably would have cut that ball off because it also would have kept Connor Lewis at first base, but Mike Cecchetto hits it on the ground. This one's a second wicket, throws to first. That'll end the inning. 10-6 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Connor Lewis gets the big hit. Ryan Dos Santos makes it happen on the base paths. The Maple Leafs get a little bit of insurance. So we head to the 9th, and Luis Florentino will try and complete the save. 4-run ball game here at Christie Pitts. Luis Florentino, who looked dominant in the 2 batters that he came into in the 8th inning. Maple Leafs needed him. They really needed him with the bases loaded and 1 out. He came in and he didn't allow a run to score.
Then the Leafs also just got a huge insurance run.
Oh. Boylan gets hit in the foot, and he's down in some pain at home plate. Or it was in the elbow?
I believe it was his elbow.
Oh, right on the end of the elbow, and no elbow guard on there, too.
Those are never fun.
Ah, man. Oh, he's going to...
I've done it to somebody once in my career, and I felt horrible on the mound afterwards.
Is that the other day?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, I remember that
You were there for that one?
Yeah.
I felt horrible.
Yeah, funny thing is we had some beef with that team, too, so it wasn't a very timely time to do that, too.
I didn't mean to, man. I didn't mean to. Mound conditions were horrible. I slipped, and I got a little bit extra behind it.
I don't know. It didn't look that way.
From what, left fields?
Yeah, this is Antonio Spencer Thompson, only because we didn't have enough guys. That's the only reason I'm out there. 1-1 the count now. Spencer Thompson is the right fielder. He came in defensively last inning. This will be his 5th at-bat of the season. The 1-1. Strike at the knees, and Spencer Thompson doesn't like it. Antonio Spencer Thompson is 1 for 4 on his short season. Joined the team and played his first game back on July 22nd. 2-1 pitch. Fouled off.
That's a good pitch there. You elevate the fastball after you just got one low and away. Change up his eye level here. Remember how I said Franklin Hernandez sticks to a routine? Look who's doing wind sprints out there in left field up the line. He just...
Oh, is he?
Oh,
Franklin, yeah. A little cool down.
You stick to the routine.
One and 2 here on Antonio Spencer Thompson. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Luis Florentino. So 1 out here in the 9th. Barrie Baycats down to their final 2 outs. Toronto Maple Leafs trying to end 10 consecutive losses at home. What a weight that would be lifted off their shoulders if they can get it done here.
You know, it's been in the mind of all the players for the last little bit. And they've wanted to be the ones to you know, break this little drought they have.
Well, Josh Magne, who's been sticking it out as the catcher through this long game here at Christie Pitts, fouls this ball off, and the count's 2-1. Up over the 3-hour and 30-minute mark.
Yeah, you said he's been sticking it out. He still has the hardest throw of the day, too. Yep, there he is. There's Hernandez. Still doing his sprints. It's a routine. You stick to the routine.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Florentino blew it by him.
One addition to the team Luis Florentino has been. I mean, came in, starting games early on. They transitioned him to the bullpen, and he's just been so good.
The 2-2. Strike 3 called. Another strikeout for Luis Florentino.
And that's just an electric fastball. I mean, wow.
Second baseman number 81, Alex Wickett.
Did you catch that?
No.
Oh, something was happening around the Barrie Baycats dugout.
I think somebody got tossed.
And Magne is heading down to the pen.
Yeah, it looks like Magne's day is possibly done.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Brandon Hernandez has been tossed. Yeah, he was the one just chatting with the umpire there. Now he's left the dugout. One more out remaining here for the Baycats. Alex Wickett is going to try and keep the game going. Wickett takes a strike at the knees. The 0-1. Pitch misses. The count now 1-1. Luis Florentino trying to get the final out.
Yeah, he's still pumping the zone very, very well. Wicked fastball there.
1-2. Yeah, nice. I got it.
Oh, I wasn't even trying. I was talking about the fastball.
Oh.
When I tell you the look that I just got from Noam, he was not impressed with me. I wasn't even trying to do anything.
1-2 on Alex Wickett. Whew. Just outside. Count 2-2. You can tell the fans have been antsy to get a win here at home, and they wanted it there on that pitch. The 2-2 now from Florentino. And it's outside, and the count's full.
It gets fun here in the late hours of Toronto.
Yeah, lots of fans sticking it out.
A lot of fans are waiting to see the Maple Leafs finally take one at home. Everybody's waiting patiently.
A clap starts around the ballpark. The 3-2 pitch to Wickett. And he got him. Luis Florentino comes out and saves the day for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they snap the 10-game home losing streak. And Zach, that's got to be a weight lifted off their shoulders.
I mean, every single one of these players, they know what just happened. The first win in 10 home games. They've been waiting for this one, and like you said, it's got to feel amazing for these guys.
The Toronto Maple Leafs come away with the win. They had 10 runs on 14 hits. The pitching performance was really good to start the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Franklin Hernandez came in, and him paired with Dylan Oborn really gave the team a great platform to win this ball game. Hernandez came in, had a 5-inning start, just gave up 3 hits, 3 walks, and nothing else. Struck out 8 batters, and you know that pitching performance really got things kicked off for the Maple Leafs today.
Yeah, the pitching performance was sensational, truly. I mean, Franklin Hernandez, he made the statement. He's a starting pitcher for this Maple Leafs team going forward, and it would not surprise me if we saw him get, game number 1 just tomorrow. What a day he had, 4 for 4 at the plate. Maybe the biggest home run of the season for the Maple Leafs there. They break that scoreless or that winless drought here at home of 10 in a row, and this is a big one against the Barrie Baycats.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. A 6-run 8th inning made it interesting. Luis Florentino shut down any doubt as to whether the Toronto Maple Leafs were going to win or not. They take it 10-6, the final here at Christie Pitts. Thanks so much for gutting it out with us here at a long one on a Wednesday night for myself, Thomas West, as well as Zach Benoit. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.